Sports Net is brought to you by Roseville Auto Mall. We know what drives you. By Del Taco, home of the new carne asada steak taco. And by Elk Grove Acura. Get it right at Elk Grove Acura, a member of the Lasher Auto Group. We welcome you back to Memorial Stadium. Beautiful day and a crowd of 57,000 plus expected to be on hand. Jeff Tedford, of course, hoping for a similar kind of season. He has a talented football team. I don't think there's any question about that.
Yeah, this year this team is looking to fill some big holes, as we talked about in the open. But Jeff Tedford as a coach is a guy who believes in discipline and the hard work and putting pressure on in practice. And he's been doing that to make sure that his team's going to live up to its expectations this season.
Steve Meshugian, the coach of Sacramento State, in his third year now, and has struggled through his first two, but this may be his most talented, or at the very least, his deepest team so far. And a lot of people thinking that Chris Hurd will develop into quite a quarterback at the 1AA division.
Yeah, well, Hurd has that NFL arm, and they say the difference between him and the other quarterbacks is that when Hurd throws the ball, he's throwing fastball every time, where the other guys is like catching changeup. So he's got the real tools. He's transferred around a couple places. We'll talk about that, but he's moved through D1. Now that he's at Sac State, he's finally found a home. They think that he's going to be the guy.
Damian Hughes and Justin Forsett to receive the kickoff for California. They won the toss, and it's fashionable these days to defer and take the ball in the second half. But that's not Jeff Tedford. He's an offensive guy. He wants the ball right now.
And it's a way to get your young quarterback some snaps and get the pressure off him right away, get those nerves going.
And the kick is a high, towering kick. Mitch Lively kicking it off, and this is Forsett coming back, and he will be stopped short of the 20-yard line. So good special teams play by the Hornets on the opening kickoff.
Yeah, nice job on special teams. The Hornets looking to upgrade there. Richard Moore making the tackle, but last year Sacramento State deficient in their special teams play. This year they're looking to improve on that.
Nate Longshore will be the quarterback. He won a tight battle with Joe Ayoub. Ayoub will also play later on, but when we talked to Jeff Tedford, he said he's a very different quarterback than the one we saw last year. Didn't play last year, but improved his footwork immeasurably.
And Longshore was a true freshman last year. He grew up a little bit mature, but really worked in the offseason with Coach K, the strength coach here at Cal, to improve that quickness.
Here's a give this time on first down to Lynch, and Lynch will get it across the 25 to the 26. Pickup of about 7 yards. It'll be 2nd and 3. Let's take a look at California's starting lineup presented by Del Taco, home of the new carne asada taco. Marshawn Lynch and Chris Mandarino will be in the backfield. Craig Stevens starts at tight end. Lavelle Hawkins not playing today. We should point that out, so he is not on the field. Noah Smith starts, and the freshman DeSean Jackson. Here's a fumble in the backfield, but picked up by Lynch, and Lynch will be stopped for a loss of about a yard.
And that's one of the things you're going to see with the new quarterback exchange. They're going to be handing off the ball. They're going to make all the little mistakes early on. As a young quarterback, you have to find a way to manage the game. Nate Longshore there, just short on the handoff, just missed Lynch. They have to get that timing down for one of these guys, or for this team as a whole, to really gel.
Matt Lowe on the tackle for Sacramento State. Third down and 3. Longshore, a couple of running plays to start things here. Short drop this time and a quick toss. And the ball is caught this time by Noah Smith, and a first down for California at the 35-yard line.
And that's a nice little rhythm for a young quarterback. Jeff Tedford setting up Longshore to succeed. A couple handoffs and then hitting a quick hitch, get him some confidence. Right now, Longshore getting into the game.
So the ball at the 35-yard line now. And a first down for California. First down of this young season for the Bears. In motion this time, the freshman DeSean Jackson. And a give again is to Lynch, and Lynch will be stopped this time right about the line of scrimmage, and then he squirms ahead for about 2 or 3 yards with a very good second effort.
Yeah, Tyson Butler, linebacker for Sacramento State, actually got in there and slowed up Lynch in the backfield. Made a nice play back there, let the rest of that Hornet defense make a gang tackle on the end, and that's what you have to do with Marshawn Lynch, is make that gang tackle, because if you're one-on-one, you're in trouble.
So a gain of about 3.5 yards on that, really turning something or nothing into something. Second down and 7. And Longshore may be checking off here. 2 tight ends for the, oh no, I beg your pardon, 3 wideouts for the Bears. Draw play this time. Straight ahead goes Lynch. Across the 40 to about the 43. He'll be about 3 yards short of the first down.
You know, for as much as people talk about Tedford in the passing game and all of his great quarterbacks, one of the things that he likes to do as a quarterback is run the football. And he told us yesterday that if you can establish that run and continue to run the ball, that's when you know you're going to have a winning team, because if a team can't stop you in the run game, they just can't stop you.
Third down and about 2.5. Lynch this time splits to the far side of the field. The Bears with an empty backfield. Longshore, 3-step drop, throws, caught by the tight end. That's Craig Stevens, and Stevens gets ahead close to midfield at the 49-yard line, and another California first down.
And Sacramento State bringing pressure there. One thing that they do is they like to bring pressure. Tim Skipper, D-coordinator for him, likes to bring pressure. You see Longshore just delivering a nice ball to Stevens, man-on-man, just a quick option route outside. Sit down, an easy pass and catch for a young quarterback.
This time Noah Smith split to the far side, and DeSean Jackson slotted inside of him. Very conservative game plan so far by Jeff Tedford. But the Bears moving the football. Lynch short side this time, midfield, bumps off one man across the 45, and a good example right there of the strength of Marshawn Lynch. Mike Brannon makes the stop, but Lynch was running over people.
Yeah, he is. Brett Shelton out there, last year freshman, honorable mention All-American for D1 AA, and Marshawn Lynch just basically pushed him, said, hey, get out of my way, I got to get downfield. That's what Marshawn Lynch brings. He's not just quick, he doesn't just have great moves, he also has the strength, and that's why Tedford is so adamant that he become a downhill back, because if he can hit the hole with that kind of strength, he will gain yards on every play.
Lynch now 5 carries, 22 yards. Second down and 4. Single setback is Lynch. Straight back, Longshore to throw with all day. Throws it, it's caught by the tight end, David Gray. Gray, a former wideout, now playing tight end, and that, I think, Mike, adds a whole dimension to California's offense.
Yeah, that's a giant dimension. David Gray was a heralded wideout coming out of high school. He was considered one of the top receivers in the country. And they actually joked with him the whole time if he kept gaining weight that, you know, Coach Tedford told us yesterday, you keep gaining weight, you're going to get your hand down, is what guys would tell him. Well, right. He does have his hand down, but I really think it's a better position for David Gray because of his size and his ability. No linebacker can run with him. He really makes a special tight end.
Confidence building for Nate Longshore, too. He's 3 of 3 for 24 yards. Here comes a blitz, and a give to Lynch, and he gets away from it, now cuts it up the middle to the 30-yard line. And Nate, for all intent, had Lynch wrapped up. Tyson Butler was coming, he shot the gap, and Lynch just spun right out of it.
Yeah, Sacramento State brings 7 men inside trying to run blitz. This is the problem with the run blitz. If you bring guys and they miss their tackle, now there's a hole. Marshawn Lynch finds a way to get into it and gains yardage. Well-called defense, but Marshawn Lynch single-handedly making that play. And there you see Marvin Phillip, also preseason All-American center for Cal. He's a guy to keep your eye on. He was the one that got his hand on Butler.
Offensive line, I think, without question, the strength of California. Longshore straight back again with time, going deep this time. He's got Jackson. Jackson makes the catch. Touchdown, Bears. How's that for a first catch of your collegiate career?
That's not bad for a young receiver. Just a simple corner route. Brandon Smith out there in coverage. And if you end up man-to-man with such a good receiver, it can be trouble. Again, Sac State, a pressure team trying to bring pressure, establish a tempo on defense.
And a nicely thrown ball, I think, by Nate Longshore. Boy, what a confidence-building drive for him.
One thing you'll see, later on in the season, he'll put that ball on fingertips and make a great throw. Yeah. As a young quarterback, you tend to pull the string a little bit, deliver the ball where he needed to. So that's going to help his confidence. But you'll actually see those balls improve, and we've seen what kind of talent he has so far.
Try for point is up and good by Schneider, and just like that, the Bears with a very impressive drive to start things. They go about 83 yards, and they do it with great efficiency, and they are on the board with 9 minutes, 26 seconds remaining in the first quarter. The Hornets will have it for the first.
Let's see your bet on Bear Vision. That's the Cal Bet of the Week. Brought to you by Central Guard and the leader in guard
It's a great time to be a Cal football fan. Coming off of a 10-2 season, 57,000 fans are expected to attend today, and they couldn't ask for more perfect weather. You're not going to see a lot of reflected heat coming off on the artificial surface here, so the players should have a cool time all game long, guys.
All right, thanks very much, Nicole. And the Bears will kick it off for the first time.
Nicole gets to get a little sun during the game down there.
Not bad.
Perfect temperature out here.
Here's a short kick. And coming up, taking this ball for Sacramento State is Ryan Kugler. And Kugler's going to be stopped at about the 22-yard line. It was a high, short kick that time by the Bears. Kicking game was not the long suit of California last year. I know that's an area that Jeff Tedford wants to improve.
Yeah, absolutely. Snyder, the place kicker for the Bears last year, a little inconsistent. He said he's really gotten his steps down now, and he feels like he's very comfortable, very consistent as a kicker. David Loney, of course, the punter, doing kickoff duties for the Bears. He's a guy who's going to be doing double duty because he's a punter as well. So he's going to have to get the ball deeper. But you're going to see him. He's got a big leg. He'll find a way to get it done.
So now the young California defense, young but very talented, according to its coach, Bob Gregory. Brad Treadway, the quarterback for Sacramento State. And he's going to go with an empty backfield, and a lot of confusion going on right here. Quick drop and a toss to Kugler, and Kugler gets it ahead to the 25-yard line, a gain of a yard. Closing nicely, Donnie McCleskey, big-time player. Let's take a look at the lineups for Sacramento State, brought to you by Del Taco, home of the new carne asada taco. Ryan Moll is the running back. Tommy Briggs will be the tight end. Nick Miller a wideout, along with Ryan Kugler and Philip Perry. So 3 wideouts, a fullback and a tailback, and you saw the offensive line for Sac State. This is a deeper Hornet team, remember, but again, a team that plays in the Big Sky Conference, not going to see an opponent like California more than one time in a year. Yaklich comes in motion, and Treadway gives this time to Moll, and Moll will be stopped before he gets to the line of scrimmage, and it'll be 3rd and long. Might give him a yard.
Ryan Moll, a very special back for Sacramento State. He's a guy, I talked to Mike Preacher yesterday, receivers and kickers coach for Sacramento State. They said he never misses a read as a back. Now, Sacramento State is going to run a lot of zone blocking schemes up front, so your back has to read it. Ryan Moll never misses a read. Sometimes the coaches will make the mistake on the field and say, what are you thinking? They go back and watch film. He made the right read. The coaches actually missed it.
Empty backfield on 3rd down and 8. Now they bring Moll back into the backfield and bring Yaklich in motion. Treadway rolls left, throws underneath, well short of the 1st down catch made by Miller. But the Hornets are going to have to give it up. Desmond Bishop from his middle backer position showing great mobility along with Ryan Foltz to make the stop for California.
And that was really kind of a probing series for Sacramento State. We saw a lot of motion, a lot of formation changes, everything else. They're trying to get a feel for what California is going to do on defense right now. More, they want to look more than they want to execute everything perfectly. Obviously, you take both if you could, but now they get a feel for what California is going to try to do against the new offensive coordinator for Sacramento State.
Mitch Lively will be the punter, and it'll be Tim Mixon who'll be the deep man for California. He can scoot. And they did get a piece of it. Punt is partially blocked. It hits at midfield. David Gray, the guy that got a piece of it, is going to be down at the 47-yard line. And California will have good field position, a 23-yard punt. And it was Thomas McCoo.
Yeah, actually, the Bears have a bunch of double numbers. We were actually laughing about this before the game. They have as many as the old Washington schools used to, and Washington used to have a bunch. So Thomas McCoo actually moved to safety from corner last year. He's a safety this year. Good defensive player getting a hand on that punt.
He wears number 4. David Gray wears number 4.
I was thinking about wearing number 4 myself.
Why not?
Well, we saw almost perfect execution out of that Cal offense the first go-round. I'd expect to see them open it up a little more this second series.
Well, Longshore was perfect. 4 of 4, 55 yards and a touch. Here's a halfback pass. Throwback to the quarterback. Longshore fumbles the football. Now he picks it up. That's a live ball, so Longshore did the right thing by getting on it. But, he probably still had time. So a gimmick play really goes astray here.
Yeah, now, if ever under panic, do the right thing as a quarterback, go down. You know, he went down to his knee to pick that ball up, so it's dead because his knee touched the ground. But that was actually going to be a double lateral pass downfield. So you see there's one lateral out to Lynch. He turns and throws back upfield. That's the key. Longshore got a little anxious there as a quarterback.
That's why he's a quarterback and not a receiver.
Yeah.
Loss of 13, so it's 2nd and 23.
Trying to say quarterbacks can't catch?
I know you could. I know you could do it all. You could play linebacker. Here's another little miscue in the backfield as Lynch was going one way and Longshore was going the other. Brandon Smith makes the stop. So kind of stuff that you might have expected really right out of the box for California now strikes them on their second series.
Well, one of the things that young quarterbacks have to learn is how to manage the game. It seems like that 25-second clock is running at double time when you get out there. You're trying to call plays. You're trying to handle everything. You know, Coach Tedford told us yesterday, taking signals, that's new for these guys. So he needs to slow the game down as a quarterback, and as the game goes along, he will do that. He will see that he has the full 25-second clock, that he can make the calls and make the plays, and he can get out of his head.
So 3rd down and a whole bunch here. Longshore straight back, has all day, throws, caught this time by Smith. Still going to be short of the first down at about the 47-yard line. He'll be about 3.5, 4 yards short. Jody Johnson, Brett Shelton defending. But Longshore still perfect.
Yeah, but you made a good point. You said has all day. That's one thing behind this offensive line for the Golden Bears. No matter who plays quarterback, they're going to have a lot of time to throw the football, and with the extra added benefit of a great running game, that quarterback is going to be well protected in that pocket.
David Loney to do the punting here, the Australian. Miller will be the deep man standing at the 10-yard line. Loney will try not to give him a chance. And a high twisting kick, fairly short and away from Miller. Will take a sideways bounce and will go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line at about the 14. And Sacramento State will have it for the second time as they manage to stop the Bears, who really kind of stopped themselves. 7-0, 4:39 left, first quarter. Well, you don't want to miss Comcast Sportsnet's Insider every Tuesday night at 7 and 10. Every week, our insiders will give their take on the Northern California sports scene and the topics you're talking about. Catch Insider Tuesdays at 7 and again at 10 on Comcast Sportsnet. So it'll be the Hornets with the football for the second time. They'll start at their own 14-yard line, unable to do any business the first time behind Brad Treadway. California defense, as we said, is a young defense, but is a very active and probably a quicker defense than the excellent defense the Bears had last year.
A lot of talent on that defensive side of the ball, but they have to learn the system. That's the biggest key for that defensive and for them to play free.
Here's a give this time to Mole, and Mole trying to get it outside to get good pursuit by the Bears, but Mole did get the shoulders going upfield. Picked up about 6. Desmond Bishop, who's been all over the field so far, makes the stop. Another one of those City College of San Francisco transfers.
A lot of guys coming out of City College of San Francisco. There's a reason they compete for the national championship every year. You know, as you look down the roster, you have Joe Ayub, who was the California JC Player of the Year, or Offensive MVP. Bishop, another guy, he was a defensive MVP, so that's a talented football squad over there, and year in, year out.
I'll say. 2nd down and 4 now for the Hornets. This time they go with a slot left and a single setback Mole. Treadway, long count. 5-step drop, and the throw almost picked by Bishop, who dropped back into coverage nicely. I mean, this guy's around the ball on every play so far. Good push up front that time by Nu'u Tafizi for California. Let's take a look at Cal's starting lineup presented by Del Taco, home of the new carne asada. Here's the Bears defense. Tosh Lupoy coming back. He missed last year. Matthew Malele with Brendan Lebain and Nu'u Tafizi, who just made that play. He's trying to fill the shoes of Ryan Riddle. Desmond Bishop in the middle has been all over the field, as we said so far. And the secondary is the strength of California's defense. McCleskey back at 100%.
Lupoy getting his 6th year, of course, after the injury. He's a guy that was slated to start. He's going to be a big addition because he had some senior leadership for that defensive side.
Good run blocker, and here's Bishop with his first sack. Bishop has really shown me something.
All over the field so far.
I mean, he has been one man, destructive game.
just a good read by Bishop. He sees that roll to the left by Sacramento State. He scrapes along the front side as a linebacker. And he says, there's no way a quarterback's getting away from me. You got to go down here.
So punting situation again. Mixon will stand at the 35-yard line. Lively, the punter. Bears got a piece of the last one. And they come after this one also, but don't get close to it. Mixon going to chase this down at about the 36-yard line. Slips by the first man. Now he comes straight ahead midfield down to the 47-yard line. The Bears again with good field position will start in the Hornets' half of the field. Timeout on the field, 2:56 remaining to be played here in the first quarter, and the Bears lead it 7-0. We'll be back. Yeah, that's what I just said. Welcome back, 7-0 ball game. California over Sac State. Still 2:56 remaining in the first period. The Bears, who self-destructed on their last possession with a 13-yard loss on first down, will have it again in good field position for Nate Longshore, who was still perfect, 5 of 5.
That's not a bad way to start as a quarterback. Being on the money, hit a couple of nice corner routes, a couple of good sit-down stuff. Coach Tedford doing a nice job of orchestrating the offense to get him comfortable early on, along with Bob Cortez, of course, offensive coordinator for Cal. But Tedford, known as a quarterback guru, told us yesterday he really likes Nate Longshore, and the hard work in the offseason that you talked about earlier, Barry, really paid off. He likes the kid's ethic. He likes his maturity. He's really come along.
Lost about 20 pounds and improved his footwork. And you played quarterback. You could speak about footwork all day.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference back there in the pocket. You have to be able to get your feet set. If you have slow feet, it makes it hard to deliver the ball downfield, makes it hard to escape the pocket. But and Coach Tedford was straight up with him. He said, look, you've got to work on those feet. If you don't work on those feet, you'll never play here. And Longshore, to his credit, got it done.
Gain of 4 on first down, Marshawn Lynch. And it's just give you an idea, there was nothing there, and that's the line charge of the Bears' offensive line, just giving him 4 yards. Trips left set this time. And a give and a fumble. Lynch trying to get it back and does, but he'll lose about 3 yards on the play back at the 46-yard line. Second fumble that the Bears have suffered. They've gotten them both back.
The first one looked like it was Longshore to me, that he was short. This one I would say is Marshawn Lynch. You can see that ball was right in the pocket, and Lynch just never secured it. He never grabbed that ball. He was looking for the hole first, had his head up, which is fine. But as a running back, you need to make a tight pocket, get that ball in there and secure it first before you can make your cut.
So the Bears faced with a 3rd and long now. And they will bring Jackson to the near side. Longshore straight back. They pick up the blitz, and Longshore steps up, throws underneath, and it's incomplete, in and out on the hands of Noah Smith. But still, I thought a pretty good ball thrown by Nate Longshore.
Yeah, not bad. He tried to force it. He had Smith out there, and he never came off of Smith. He really should have come to the backside. He had DeSean Jackson on the backside. But Brandon Smith kind of right there in coverage. You see Longshore's head never leaves that side. Excuse me, Brandon Smith back there on the pressure. Was a catchable ball, and Noah Smith should have made that catch. But if he'd have come backside earlier, he had a wide open man standing alone.
So Loney will punt it away again, and credit the Hornets defense was stepping up here. High, short kick, very high. And a fair catch called by Miller at the 9-yard line. Today's game brought to you by Roseville Auto Mall, 16 dealers, 21 brands, 1 location, Eureka Road, off I-80 in Roseville. I said the 9-yard line. I'll mark this at the 17-yard line. Only missed by 8 yards. Hey, it's first game of the year.
Everybody's got to get it out there. Everybody's got to get it out.
I was never very good at math either.
And that's why we go into broadcasting.
Exactly. This time is to Mole. No hole for Mole. I've been wanting to say that.
Very catchy.
Yeah, I think so. Got back to line of scrimmage. And that was shut down immediately by Ryan Foltz.
And that is that front side zone scheme that I was talking about earlier. Sacramento State liked to run that. Anytime you see a one-back set, you're going to see a lot of zone blocking on the front side. Let those offensive linemen decide who they're going to pick up and try to move, and then you let the running back make his decision. That time there was just no decision to make. Get as much as you can and get down.
2nd down and 10 now. Kugler comes in motion. Treadway will throw, rolls left, and overthrows Kugler. Kugler had a step. Ryan Foltz defending. Just not a good throw.
You know, he had a step on Foltz, but Foltz was in the perfect line in between quarterback and receiver that you can't put the ball on the line, which is the easiest throw. So you have to try to touch it. And as Treadway's rolling to his left with the receiver and you try to touch it over, that ball tends to carry sometimes. And that's exactly why it was overthrown. He wasn't able to put the nice soft touch to drop it in.
Here's Ryan Foltz. Foltz, a senior out of Westlake, California, was a safety. Now playing the linebacker spot and doing so effectively thus far today.
Nice special teams player for the Bears last year, a spot guy for the Bears. Good athlete out there, and he had some quickness at that linebacker spot.
3rd down and 10, nickel defense for California. And did he take too much time? He did.
Delay game, offense, number 8, 5 yards, remains 3rd down.
And that's what you expect to see out of a first-time starter a lot, not being able to manage the clock, not being able to manage timeouts, the little things that you pick up under game pressure. Treadway played in a few games last year for Sac State, but he didn't play that much, only threw 27 passes. So he has to learn that as well. Every quarterback in this game today has to learn how to manage the clock.
3rd down, 15 now. Treadway, 2 of 4. Bears show blitz, and they come with a late blitz, and they give to Mole, and Mole stutter stepping to about the 19-yard line. He'll be well short of the 1st down, and Hornets will have to give it back to the Bears. California defense again, just kind of out-manning Sacramento State Hornets, and you can't really say that's a big surprise.
No, and Sac State just trying a little trickery, a little half-roll draw there on the backside, try to let Mole get a body on a body, but Bears doing a nice job of staying home on that backside. And that's Tim Mixon. Now this kid came in, he's a corner, and a great kick returner with a tailback in high school. Real special player for the Bears. Timmy Mixon really adds to this mix-in.
End of the 1st quarter, and a look at the scoreboard shows the California Golden Bears 7 and the Sacramento State Hornets nothing. You'd have to say at least a defensive moral victory for Sacramento State. Bears had a good first drive, but nothing since then. 2nd quarter coming up. Welcome back. We start the 2nd quarter. Bears leading it by a 7-0 count. Bears out offensing Sac State 90-18. They have 4 first downs, and the Hornets still looking for their first. And a very effective, I think, 1st quarter for Nate Longshore. Lively to punt it away, and the Bears really coming after this one. They don't get it. A high twisting kick and a fair catch called by Mixon. He makes the catch at the 37-yard line, and we go to the field once more, and the 3rd member of our broadcast team, Nicole Zalumas. Nicole?
Thanks, guys. A sad time for the Sac State receivers coach Mike Preacher. His father was in a fatal car accident Wednesday night, died Thursday in the ICU. One thing that you're going to see is the Sac State logo will not be on this side of the helmet. It's a missing man tribute that they're playing to Daryl Preacher. Once again, Mike Preacher's father, who passed away this past Thursday, guys.
All right, thanks very much, Nicole. And of course, Mike Preacher, old-time, long-time friend of yours.
That's right. He was a GM of the XFL Demons when we were playing over here in San Francisco. And, you know, obviously our heart goes out to the family for Mike and his whole family. Not a good time right now.
Justin Forsett with the carry for the first time. And well, when we talked to Jeff Tedford yesterday, he just spoke in glowing terms about Justin Forsett, the sophomore out of Arlington, Texas. I told you the story of how he got here. He was bound for Notre Dame, and they took back a scholarship when down toward the end of the signing time. And Jeff Tedford stepped in and said, I'll take him. And he said, when it just comes to running, this guy's as good as anybody in the Pac-10 conference.
Yeah, as a tailback, he couldn't speak any higher of Justin Forsett. Forsett, just an outstanding 2-back. He will be the answer to Marshawn Lynch as the 2-back, the same way that Lynch was for Arrington last year.
It's a little gap up the middle this time, but only picks up a couple of yards. And it's going to be 3rd down and 6 for the Bears now. Tyson Butler, the middle backer, coming up to make the stop.
And a little more on Forsett. Any Cal fans that used to watch Joe Igber, Forsett is a Joe Igber with just a little bit more speed, a little bit more downhill burst. But a nice 1-2 combo again for the Bears. And Tedford, outside of being a quarterbacks guy, has really done some great things with running backs as well.
Now the Bears, as you can see, last couple of drives, they have self-destructed. They're 2 of 4 on third down conversions, looking at a 3rd and 6 here. Longshore, 5-step drop. Again, he's got all day to throw the football. Waits for the clear out, and a diving grab by Gray. Not a great ball. I'm sure Longshore would like to have that one back, because that might have gone to the end zone.
Well, that was a great job of getting open by David Gray. He was actually tied up with Matt Logue, linebacker for Sacramento State, doing a nice job on coverage, but Gray finding a way to get out. You see Longshore checking down 1-2, comes back to his initial first read, and an excellent catch. That's the dimension that David Gray adds out there. There isn't a linebacker in the Pac-10 that can run with him as a receiver.
And he was very happy about making that move. Anything for the team, he said to Jeff Tedford. Here's a screen that goes nowhere because the intended receiver was on the other side of the field.
Well, all the linemen went left, but
we're going to get a flag also, which I expect will be procedure.
Marshawn Lynch went right, and the Cal line went left. So your screenplay generally tends to follow the big guys.
And they're going to get intentional grounding. That's a tough call against Longshore because there was no eligible receiver there.
Intentional grounding, number 9 of the offense. Penalty includes a loss of down at the spot of the foul. 2nd down.
Well, that's some of the early season stuff that you're going to see from a team. Guys going the wrong direction, snap count issues. Right now, this team getting it together. When we talked to Jeff Tedford yesterday, he said, these are the things that you want to see get ironed out. Now watch. Block down, all those big bodies start to take off to the right of your screen there. Longshore looking for a back, doesn't find anybody. It's actually a smart move. Throw that ball away behind the line of scrimmage. But without an eligible receiver over there, that becomes intentional grounding.
Exactly. So now 2nd down and long because it's a loss of down as well. And to give us to Forsett again. He stutter steps, tried to bounce it outside. And they're going to say he's down at the 41-yard line. It's Lynch, not Forsett. And he almost broke that baby.
He made several plays like that last year where he was able to stay up, get the extra yards. Brent Weber there on the stop. But you see Lynch, great lateral movement. Weber just getting a piece of his ankle there. An ankle tackle, but just enough to get Lynch's knee down.
And again, the Bears faced with a 3rd and long. 3rd down and 11. Slot left this time on 3rd down. And straight back Longshore. He steps up in the pocket. Throws, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Brandon Smith. And a big play by the Sacramento State Hornets, who all of a sudden are playing the Bears dead even.
Well, and, you know, you had man-to-man coverage. Generally speaking, when you have man coverage, a receiver is supposed to continue running out. I believe that Longshore was expecting Sam DeSaw to make the break towards the sideline, and he never did.
So again, little communications gaps here or something. Knowing Jeff Tedford as well as I do, I know he's kind of gnashing his teeth.
Oh, yeah.
Even though it's the first game of the season, young players, he expects mistakes, but I'm not quite sure he expected as many back-to-back as he's getting.
No, he's going to have that scowl on. But one of the things he told us, and it's the absolute truth, you can take this for gospel, a quarterback has to face adversity to truly become a great quarterback. Right now, his young quarterback facing some adversity.
Absolutely. Chris Hurd is the quarterback now for Sacramento State, and did he take too much time again, or we might have too many people
Dead
in
ball,
motion?
delay of game, offense, number 7, 5 yards.
Too much time.
Well, Sacramento State, I think, late getting the play in, getting the right group on the field to start off, and that's always a setback for a quarterback to start off. But, you know, if you want to take something as gospel from a guy who really coaches quarterbacks well, that's one thing as a quarterback coach Tedford truly believes in. It's the adversity that makes the diamond. You know, you may have a diamond in the rough as a quarterback, but until he faces pressure, he's never going to be great. You take that, you let it roll off your back, and that's when you become great because you build confidence from it.
Hurd's first play is a handoff to Mole, and Mole slips one tackle, but not the second. Got it back to the 35-yard line. It's going to be 2nd down and 12. Ryan Foltz on the stop for the Bears once again. Chris Hurd, an interesting guy. He started out at Washington State with Mike Price, and then when Mike Price left to go first to Alabama and then to UTEP, Hurd followed him down to UTEP, but he's had constant and nagging knee problems. He never did play, lost the starting job at UTEP, and had to appeal to the NCAA to make a 3rd transfer to a 4-year school. And the rule there is you have to do it within 150 miles of your hometown. Well, his hometown is not far from Berkeley here. It's in Antioch. Sacramento State fell within that 150 miles, and he didn't have to sit a redshirt year because he's going to 1AA.
Sacramento State.
And Sacramento State, again, with a little confusion, will take the timeout. Well, this is clearly a first game of the season.
No question, and a good job by Hurd managing the clock on that.
11:40 left in the first half. Hornets have the ball and a new quarterback. Jeff Tedford, I'm sure, not real happy with what he's seeing. At a press conference earlier this week, he talked about what he expects to get out of a game like this.
Just to reach our potential. That's kind of where we are now. Everyone talks about expectation and what we're supposed to do. We try not to focus on that at all, except for internal expectation that we expect ourselves every day to be prepared. If we prepare and worry about ourselves to reach our full potential, then we have a chance to be in any game that we play.
Well, Hurd airs it out, and a great grab that time by Jordan Farrell, a sophomore from Wildomar, California. And a first down, the first one of the ball game for the Hornets, and they're in California territory at the 44-yard line, and I thought pretty darn good ball thrown by Hurd.
Yeah, it was an outstanding catch by Farrell. It was actually a knuckleball. If you watch, Hurd doesn't get his feet set right. He's got his left leg pointing towards the sideline and throwing across his body or against his body. Good job getting it down there where Farrell could make the play, but really an outstanding catch by Farrell.
More yards on that play than Sac State has had in the entire game. At the 44-yard line of the Bears, slot left. Here's a give to Mole. Mole trying to go left, gets a pretty good head of steam up and gets inside the 40 to 39, a gain of 5. That's good first down yardage. Ryan Mole, little guy, but running hard.
And a good job up front by that Hornet offensive line, getting out, really moving on people. Most offensive lines, your centers and your guards are your quicker player. Sacramento State likes to think that their tackles are their big players, and Matt Yaklet out there making a nice block as well. So really got the team into it. Everybody participating right now.
That's exactly what I was going to say. There's a little bounce in the step of the Hornets right now. Slot right, second down. Call it 6. Hurd straight back. Good protection. Going deep this time. Got a man, overthrew the intended receiver, Philip Perry. And he had him on a post.
Yeah, Perry had a step out there on Damian Hughes. I think Hurd, a little bit anxious, just released that ball a little bit early. If he holds on to it for another beat, he can really set his feet and deliver a strike. But again, early in the game, young, a new series, got a lot of nerves, just hurried himself.
So it'll be third down and 6 now. I suppose if you're Sac State, you got to take your shots where you can get them. And that was a good opportunity. Ball just inside the 40-yard line. Blitz comes. Hurd rolls to his right, rolls away from the blitz. Now he throws, and it's in and out of the hands of Perry. A catchable ball at the 23-yard line.
Very catchable ball. That is the knock on Philip Perry right there. They say he will make the outstanding catch, the impossible catch. But if it's an easy catch, sometimes the computer breaks down and he can't pull that ball in, won't watch it all the way in. But that was a very well delivered ball by Chris Hurd, showing that he's got some spurts so far, and we've seen that big arm a couple times already.
So Lively to punt it away, and Mixon will stand at the 10-yard line. Lively will just try to squeeze this down inside the 10-yard line and try to, I'm sure, kick it away from Mixon. He does, he angles it. Well, that's going to head right into the end zone. Ooh, it didn't. It shows you what I know. That ball looked to me like it was going beyond the F in California.
Now, if that ball turns over, he kicked that. A lot of punters will get that ball to turn over, but he didn't get it to turn over. Instead, that ball just tailed out, and Durrell Oliver down there to down the ball for Sac State. Nice punt.
36-yard punt, but what an effective punt. The Bears will start deep in their own territory when we come. Well, watch this punt by Lively, and it looked for all the world like this was going to sail into the end zone. And it hit and took a sideways bounce, and Oliver was right there.
The trick, though, that nose never came over. If that nose comes over, that ball will go in the end zone. They put a little backspin on it. Great kick. I'll Nick Harris, for the Cal fans out there. Nick Harris, now punting in the NFL. Outstanding punter. Used to have the best comeback ball in the punt I've ever seen.
Great guy, used to do that pretty well. Out of his own end zone now, Marshawn Lynch spins away and gets to about the 5-yard line. A gain of 2, but Hornets playing more solid defense also. They're playing full of confidence. Jacob Houston, help from Brent Weber on the stop.
Nice job of gang tackling by Sac State, which is exactly how you have to bring Marshawn Lynch down.
Bears have been very conservative with their offense. They've only thrown on passing downs.
Yeah, and they've had the big plays they have tried, the trick plays, have backfired on them so far. So I would expect to see them run the football, try to force some open holes, and throw the easy completions.
2 tight ends now, just 1 wide receiver. And you give to Lynch again. He bounces it outside. He's at the 10. He's at the 15. First down, Bears. And boy, he gets that corner in a hurry.
He does. He saw it, and his explosion off the outside just took long enough to read it. You see him get the ball here. He's got a lead blocker. Okay, there it is on the outside. And look at that burst. Kyle McDonald finally able to bring him down, but just a great, it's that 4th gear, that second, the next gear that everybody's always looking for.
That's right. That a lot of people don't have.
Yeah, a lot of people don't have. That's really the delineator between the good guys and the great guys, is having that 2nd gear.
First down at the 16-yard line. 9:22 left first half, 7-0 California over Sac State. Give to Lynch again. Lynch spins by the first tackler, but is down, gang tackled again at about the 19-yard line. Again, a gain of about 2. Matt Logue, the first man to him. Most experienced player, even though he's only a junior. He's played more games than just about anybody else on Sac State's defense.
Yeah, actually started 4 or 5 games as a true freshman. Came out 34 tackles for loss in his career. Just a good football player, a guy who's really been around the football a lot for them and one of their marquee guys on defense.
Yeah, he's already number 4 in the all-time tackling list at Sac State. He's just starting his junior year.
Yeah, last year, 89 total tackles for the guy, so he roams the field.
This is Forsett for the Bears. Bounces by 1 man, gets ahead of steam, and is going to be close to the first down. Taking Brett Shelton with him. Forsett's not a very big guy, but strong.
And he's got the leg drive too. Both the tailbacks for California have great leg drive. As a tailback, sometimes you got to get that leverage. Forsett found a way to get that leverage, and watch him just stay low. Shoulders stay low, and just keeps dragging people right along with him.
Pretty tough run for 180-pounder. Going to measure here to see if he has the first down. It's close. Maybe a little short. Nope, I think you got it.
By 1 strike.
The spotter, Dick Quinlan, a little off earlier here in the season. He had that eye surgery. He's used to having 2,500 vision.
Vision much more clear, and so far not helping on the spot.
No, see, he overcorrected. So the ball at the 26-yard line, a first down for California. They started at their own 2. Have not put the ball up on first down yet today. Still won't. And this time it is to Lynch, and Lynch busted across the 40 to the 42-yard line. That's the kind of back that he is. He reminds me of O.J. Simpson when he was at USC, and you can stop him 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and then the 5th time, 6th time, he's gone.
Yeah, he's just going to find it, and that's the trick. He's not trying to break it outside. Last year he would have said, okay, I'm going to try to find an outside hole. This time he takes the hole that he's got, he puts his shoulders down, and he runs straight ahead. A nice job. Brett Shelton finally making the tackle on the play, but Lynch doing a good job getting in that hole and getting as many yards as he can before he finally makes contact.
First down Bears, the 42-yard line. Longshore going to go up this time. Airs it out this time for Jackson. Jackson takes a bump, and it actually was caused because Kyle McDonald hit him, and it just took him off stride just enough. Take another look at this.
Yeah, you still got to make that play, though. Obviously a true freshman, but Kyle McDonald out there getting a hand on him. It's all legal if nobody sees it, but untouched, he's got to make that play. That's one of the tests that they use for receivers going into the NFL. See if you can catch that over-the-top ball. As a right-hander, Longshore's ball is going to drift to the outside. As a quarterback, you throw it to the inside shoulder of the receiver, and he's got to adjust because it drifts over that outside shoulder, makes it catchable only by your receiver. Jackson will learn how to catch that ball before he's done here at Cal.
Second down, this time DeSean comes in motion, and here's a give this time to Forsett. Forsett gets only about a yard, tripped up, a little bit of razzle-dazzle, kind of a misdirection play that time for California. Fake the reverse to DeSean.
Good job by that Sacramento State defensive line actually getting upfield pressure, doing that, disrupting the rushing lanes.
So the Bears again faced with a 3rd and long, and they've been in that situation quite a lot. Same set this time as last. 4-man rush and a screen this time for Lynch, and a great job. Busting that screen up was Tyson Butler, who just was not going to be fooled, and again the Bears will have to give it up. Levi Ainez was also coming, but it was Butler that really busted it up.
Yeah, great job. Butler probably in man coverage. He had to back out of the backfield, able to read that right away, and then showing a little burst of his own, getting upfield to make the tackle. Again, just a little quick swing screen to the right. Big guys for Sac State getting upfield, but Butler reading it right off the bat, coming out and making the tackle. Good job getting Lynch before he could make his shoulder or square his shoulders upfield.
So Loney to punt, a twisting kick. Miller comes up, handles it at the 19-yard line, starts right, nothing doing, and he's stopped right where he caught it. On special teams for California, Robert Peel, the freshman, makes the stop. 41-yard punt, no return. So the Hornets will start at the 19-yard line when we come back. Well, if you're hungry for more Cal football, don't miss the Cal Sports Report. Get exclusive interviews and insight that you just won't find anywhere else. Cal Sports Report, Thursday nights at 6:30, right here on Comcast Sportsnet. So Sac State will start just short of their own 20-yard line again as they again put the stops on the Bears, who looked like they were moving the football. Only to have the drive bogged down. Hurd, the quarterback. They'll go empty as they bring Mole out of the backfield. Hurd straight back, short drop. Now he steps up. He's got room to run 20, 25 at the 30-yard line. 35 to the 40-yard line and out of bounds. So Hurd picks up about 20 yards. Greg Van Hoosen on the stop for California, but 21-yard gain officially.
And really a quarterback draw all the way. You see Hurd taking a few steps, just trying to draw that defensive line upfield. That empty set spread everybody from the California defense out. Hurd doing a nice job finding a hole and taking full advantage of it. Pretty fast for a quarterback.
All of a sudden, things starting to change. As you can see, the Bears 81 yards on their first drive, only 61 yards since. And right now, Sac State playing the Bears just about dead even. First down right at the 40-yard line. Hurd straight back. Throws a screen this time. Mole slips the first man, gets to the 43. A pickup of about 3 yards. Desmond Bishop, who has been sensational for California defensively so far, makes the stop.
And Sac State starting to spread things out, trying to get that Cal defense thin across the field. Started with the quarterback draw, coming back with a little screen. Nice block by Jake Kellum out there, number 79. Clearing the way for Mole, getting a few extra yards.
Slot right this time on second down. Give a gain of 4 called at 2nd and 6. Mole at the right side. Slips the first man again. Mole showing a little something.
Finding a way to get up through that hole, break that line. Coach Mushagan yesterday telling us if this kid was just half a step faster or an inch or two taller, he'd be playing D1 somewhere at the 1A level. But they got lucky. They found him in 4 games in high school, rushed for 1,136 yards. That's 4 games good. Now and 11 touchdowns, and then broke his leg. So here's a guy that got injured, didn't get a lot of looks, but a really good running back and going to be the marquee player for this offense for Sac State.
Hornets trying to convert on 3rd down for the first time today. Bears show blitz and come with the blitz, and a quick screen this time to Kugler. First down midfield to the 40-yard line, slips a man 35, and down at the 30-yard line of California. And the Hornets are moving the ball. Damian Hughes makes the stop, and a flag is down.
Yeah, probably going to add a face mask penalty onto the end of that. Kugler got up and started trying to adjust his helmet back on. But Kugler really best receiver for the Sac State team, mid 4.5 guy.
Personal foul. Grabbing the face mask on the defense, number 15. Penalty's 15 yards for the end of the run. Automatic first down.
Anthony Felder, the freshman in the lineup for California, guilty of a personal foul and another mistake. And the Bears are really doing it to themselves, although let's take nothing away from the Hornets. That was a great play.
And a great move by Ryan Coogler. Breaks one tackle, gets a nice step up field. On that receiver screen, the key is you have to dip inside and then come back outside. And Coogler did a nice job of getting the extra yards, running exactly that route. Catch the ball, dip inside, get back outside, and use your speed to try to get to the sideline.
Well, they caught the Bears in a blitz, too. It was the perfect call at the perfect time. First down at the 15-yard line. Short drop this time. Hurd over the middle, caught. And I think they'll call that a catch. Coogler made the catch, and I think they will say that that's a catch, and they will. Down to the 12-yard line, a gain of about 3 or 4 yards.
Yeah, caught the ball and fell on his tail pad. I'm pretty sure once that tail pad touches the ground, you're down. So as good as any running play, just move the chains a little bit, get those big guys to move. We're out the D-line a little bit.
And Hurd now 4 or 6 for 50 yards. There's just a real difference in this Hornets team right now. And they are knocking on the door here at the 12-yard line of California. Second out. Give it to Mole. Mole right up the gut, inside the 10 to about the 8-yard line. They're even getting a little bit of a push on the offensive line.
Yeah, that O-line really doing a nice job for Sac State. They've been coming on, like I said, zone blocking, finding their man, just getting a body on him and letting Mole read it. That's exactly what they're looking for.
Well, hurry down to Del Taco. Try the new carne asada steak taco. This authentic taco has 2 hot corn tortillas, freshly grilled marinated steak, tangy guacamole, fresh salsa, and a squeeze of lime. The carne asada taco only at Del Taco.
Now you got my mouth watering.
I know, I was just going to say. Third down, big play right here for the Hornets. Hurd rolls to his right, throws back, had a man, but had to throw across his body. Meshuggah was there.
And he was the only one there.
Yes, he was.
You see Hurd rolling to his right. He's looking wide. He tries to throw back, like you said, Barry. He's got to get his feet set, deliver that ball. There wasn't anybody within 8 yards of Meshuggah, and that would have been an easy touchdown if he completes that pass. Again, early nerves, a young starter trying to get rid of the ball quicker than they have to.
Juan Gamboa will try a 26-yard field goal to try to chop into the Bears' lead here. Gamboa drives it, and it is good. And give credit to Sac State. I mean, they're making a ball game out of this. I don't think there's too many people of the 57,000 or so assembled who thought that this was going to be a 4-point game with 2 minutes and 44 seconds to go in a half.
No, Sac State doing a nice job playing motivated. And again, Coach Meshuggah yesterday telling us, hey, we got nothing to lose. We come in here, everybody's expecting the worst for Sac State. That means we can just strap it on and go and play. And right now, it's exactly what the Hornets are doing. They are playing, and they are bringing it to Cal.
They're playing the Bears dead even since that first drive. Now, admittedly, the Bears have self-destructed on both sides of the ball, but I don't want to take anything away from what Sac State is doing. They're taking advantage of all those little things.
But that's what you have to do. You know, when we talked to Jeff Tedford yesterday, he said turnovers are a big deal. Well, the Bears have thrown one interception. There's a turnover for you. Mistakes on the field, that's a big deal, especially early in the season. Right now, the Bears are making those mistakes, and Sac State is capitalizing on it.
So Mitch Lively will kick it off. And Lively, according to the Sacramento State people, will either drive it into the end zone or knock it out of bounds at about the 20-yard line.
It's an adventure every time as a kicker. He's got a huge leg, needs to find a way or find the steps to control it. You know, kicking is no different than a golf swing, and anybody that's golf knows how if you just do one thing wrong, it can get you all out of whack and hit that nasty slice. Kickers practice every day. They need to find a way to make it happen.
Well, here is the dribbler. This is actually going to be not easy, but picked up this time by Forrest and could only get it to about the 17-yard line. So Sac State, even though it wasn't pretty, manages to get the job done. Hey, Cache Creek presents Best Damn Boxing Period. I'll be there September 30th. It's Glenn Johnson against George Jones. And you can see John Sally, Chris Rose from the Best Damn Sports Show. Tickets available at cashcreek.com or any Ticketmaster outlet. See, Rich Murata and I get we paid no never mind. Sal's there, Chris is there, what really matters?
The great Barry Tompkins, how could you forget about him?
Yeah, come on. First down at the 19-yard line for California, and they have just been unable to do any offensive business. Straight ahead this time, Lynch, and he doesn't get much. Butler and Lynn right in his grill.
Nice job by the linebackers. Staying off blocks, making a tackle. Marshawn Lynch not able to make a miss. Now, Marshawn Lynch made a lot of guys miss in that same situation last year. Good form tackling by that Sac State linebacking core.
Bears going with no huddle here. Longshore will call the play out at the line of scrimmage. 4 yards for Lynch on first down. Longshore to throw. He's got time. He comes back off one man. Now he airs it out over the middle. Wide open this time is DeSean. DeSean the 40 to the 35-yard line, and a huge first down for California. And you got to credit the offensive line with all of that.
Yeah, a nice little half roll for Longshore, and that's the hardest time to block. If you're a big man, as they start to roll, that's the hardest time to block. And Nate Longshore right now just went down. He got hit on that play. He got up, hobbled a couple steps, and just went down on the field.
It's a leg injury of some sort, and one could only hope that it's not much more than a cramp, but it does not look good. As you said, he started to hobble off, and then he just went down. And the trainer's out there talking to him. Looks like a groin.
And not a good sign when a guy gets back up to start and then going back down. So hopefully nothing major, but we're going to see Joe Ayoub sooner than we expected to in this game.
Well, Joe Ayoub, another one of the transfers from City College of San Francisco. See if we can see what happened.
See just a little half roll to the right, taking his time, finds DeSean, and this is where it gets dangerous. See all those big bodies around him? Oftentimes guys roll up on you, and there it is. From behind, somebody rolled up on him, tried to make a tackle.
It's hard
and that's
to tell
Jacob
exactly.
Houston, last year Sacramento State's sack leader.
It does not appear to be a knee, but he's going to be helped from the field. And he is able to put a little bit of weight on it, and that's, I suppose you'd have to say that's the good news.
Just hobbling on that left leg. You can see right where Houston hit him.
He was 8 of 11 for 131 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception.
And I can tell you from personal experience, as a quarterback back in the pocket, you have to be patient. You have to, you're going to take shots. These are the toughest shots to take because you never see them coming. Right behind the calf there, a lot of forward pressure on that leg.
Could be interpreted as a little bit of a late hit, too. First down after the 42-yard gain at the 33, and Joe Ayoub going straight up and going for it all and throwing into triple coverage, and it's incomplete. I mean, there was everybody wearing white and one guy wearing blue, and Matt Logue was coming hard off his linebacker position at Ayoub.
An ugly first pass for Ayoub to DeSean Jackson, really throwing into coverage, like you said, Barry. One of the things that Coach Tedford told us yesterday, Ayoub was having some technique problems, some of the mechanics throwing the ball. He'd get his shoulders up high, and he's been working on that. As a quarterback, when you start working on mechanics, you get all out of sync. He's a great passer, and as his mechanics get under control, he will become a great passer again.
Ayoub this time rolls left, now pulls up, right-hand pass, incomplete. Too tall, intended for Noah Smith. And again, a lot of white shirts around there.
Yeah, the fans looking for a PI penalty there, a little pass interference.
I don't know.
I think McDonald was probably there just a little bit early, but the ball thrown high, forcing Noah Smith to go up for it. McDonald making a play. Had he made a play on the ball, there'd be no argument for the fans, but he was hanging off of Noah Smith. So again, with the new replay rules in the Pac-10 this year, that one can't be reviewed. That's a judgment call, so that one cannot be reviewed, but we'll see during the year some replays that will turn around some penalties.
And it is only the booth that can call for replay. Here's Ayoub straight back again on third down. And Ayoub throws underneath. It's incomplete, intended for DeSean. Knocked down nicely and well defended by Brandon Smith.
Right now, Sac State sideline is pumped up. Guys are jumping up and down. There is a lot of emotion going on down there. This team from Sacramento State is really believing that they can get it done. And they can come in here and be a giant killer today against Cal.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. And we talked about this yesterday. We talked about it with Steve Mashogi, the coach of the Hornets. And we said, if you can just get your team hanging around, pretty soon you start to believe, hey, you know what, we can do this.
Absolutely. And then the other team starts to get demoralized. So the Bears right now feeling the pressure of being down where they felt they should be up.
Schneider going to try a 50-yard field goal here. Now, Jeff Tedford was singing his praises and said he's got plenty of leg. struggled a little bit last year. First try of the year and a long one. Does he have enough? He does from 50 yards out.
A nice kick by Schneider. He actually shortened down his approach to the ball, and in doing that became more consistent. He stroked that one perfectly.
Well, that's something that will make Jeff Tedford happy. I know that because the kicking game has really been the curse of the Bears, not just last year, but for the last couple of years.
Yeah, very inconsistent kicking game. And I'd say from the looks of this, as you watch this ball go through, Snyder's got about a 56-yard range because that one made it over by about 6 yards.
Yeah, that was close.
But you know what? 56-yard range is plenty for a kicker in college football.
And Ayub with a nice job on the hold. That pass, snap from center, not the best. Ayub managed to get it right next to his body and still get it down.
I love the body English there by Snyder, trying to make sure that it's staying in. Kickers are fun to watch, aren't they?
Kickers are one of a kind. Well, don't miss the model year and clearance sale right now at Elk Grove Acura and the Elk Grove Auto Mall. Get it right at Elk Grove Acura, member of the Lasher Auto Group. So the Bears on the board for the first time since that opening drive, and they lead it again by 7. Ryan Kugler will be the deep man for Sacramento State. This is going to be Kugler at about the 5-yard line. Kugler to the 10, to the 15, gets a little gap and is stopped as he crosses the 20-yard line. Let's go to the field right now, and once more, Nicole Zalumis with a report on Nate Longshore. Nicole?
Well, an injury report on Nate Longshore, you guys. It's his left ankle. They're still working on it. They're evaluating it as we speak. There's no prognosis, but he is being taken off the field right now. They said that we'll know more after the halftime, guys.
Not good news to see anybody go off on a cart, particularly the guy who you're pinning your hopes on at quarterback.
And he had his left foot planted. You know, he was down when Houston fell into him. And oftentimes that will upset the apple cart down there. You know, anytime you have your feet planted, be it turf or grass, if you get all that weight loaded onto one joint, the human body's not made to take that kind of stress.
Here's a draw play this time, and Mole getting across the 25, about the 28-yard line. Mole running hard. Ryan Fultz makes the stop for California, but a pickup of about 6 on first down off the draw play.
And Mole doing a really nice job of avoiding that upfield
California
pressure by the Cal defensive line
Timeout number 1.
to get those extra yards. Good job, very impressive young back.
Sac State going to take a timeout with 1 minute and 1 second.
Timer,
California taking a
reset the
timeout.
clock to 1 minute, 4 seconds.
Now we set the clock to 1:04 remaining in the half. First timeout called by the Bears. Each team has 2 timeouts remaining.
And the Bears trying to capitalize, take advantage, work that clock. They're hoping they can get that ball back and go for a score again.
Well, for more info about Comcast Sportsnet, all you have to do is go online at ComcastSportsNet.com, click on West, and there you'll find all the details about the network as well as upcoming program schedules and news about your favorite teams. Get your game online at ComcastSportsNet.com. Ball will be marked at the 28-yard line, just short of the 28. It'll be 2nd down and 4. Gain of 6 on first down for Mole. And Sac State giving Cal everything they want here in the first half, and they are really to be commended.
You know, a lot of the guys in the Sac State program have to work with. They get transfers in. You know, Cal McDonald, a perfect example of that. Chris Hurd, a perfect example of that. Guys that are D1A players but couldn't find a home somewhere, end up at Sac State. And then you have to take that group and try to mold them together to be a cohesive unit. And had a problem with that the last couple of years. Mike Preacher yesterday told me this team is as together as any team that they've been around so far, and it's showing up on the field.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, this first half, I think, will serve Sac State well no matter what happens in the second half. Right at the moment, they're in this ball game. Here's Hurd rolling to his left this time. Now he throws back, and it's incomplete, in and out of the hands of Kugler. Again, a catchable ball. And that will stop the clock with 59 seconds remaining. Bears hoping to get the football back here and get it in good field position.
Yeah, one thing, Hurd hasn't thrown a spiral yet. He's it looks like he's playing with that old Canadian League football that you couldn't throw a spiral. I think the stripes on it were crooked because it never looked like a spiral. But if he can master that and get the spiral, that'll make the arm even stronger, and it makes the ball easier to catch because it's still coming with some heat on it when he's throwing it.
3rd down and 4. I think important for the Hornets to at least get a first down here. I want to give Cal the ball back with enough time to do some business, and they are. Well, Mold runs away from pressure. Now he's going to come back the other way. Gets a nice block from Hurd, and now he's got a little room at the 20, 25, 30, and out of bounds. Still be short of the first down, but a great job by Mole and a great block by Chris Hurd.
That was actually a really physical block by Hurd. He stuck his shoulder pads in there. Nice job by the quarterback picking up a block. Nice job by Mole reading it. See the play just starting to the left, just a little counter, or draw counter in the backfield. And Mole keeping his feet in the grasp. Brandon Mebane made the initial contact. But look at that block by Hurd there,
Big
out
time.
in front.
So now it's going to be 3rd down and a yard and 47 seconds remaining in the half.
And you know Sac State wants to get that first down, try to control it, give the ball back to Cal and give them an opportunity to change momentum.
Well, now it is. I thought it was 4th down. I looked across the field and the marker said 3rd down. I thought maybe I missed something, but it is 4th down, and the Hornets will punt. Now let's see how the Bears play this. Will they come after this, or will they try to get a little run back?
Well, whatever they're going to do, you can bet that Sac State is going to try to punt away from Mixon.
The Bears with an 8-man rush and a short kick off the side of the foot is going to angle toward the sideline. Not a good punt, and it's going to be down at the 44-yard line of California. So the Bears will have a relatively short field off just a 25-yard punt by Lively.
And they go for that Cal offense now. Get into field goal position, maybe go for a big strike, but definitely try to allow yourself a chance to score.
It's going to be in the hands of Joe Ayoub. 0 for 3 on his first 3 attempts, and a couple of dangerous passes where he threw into coverage.
This is where clock management comes into it as well. For a young quarterback, you have to know what stops the clock. Incomplete passes, ball out of bounds, all those things that you have to manage to know whether to get back in the huddle or to get on the ball.
Hornets showing blitz. Now they back out of the blitz. Straight back, Ayoub throws, intended for the tight end Stevens, and he wasn't close.
And he threw that ball hard for a receiver that was just 6 yards away.
Sure did. So not an auspicious beginning to the 4-year career of Joe Ayoub.
We kind of laughed yesterday with Coach Tedford. You know, Ayoub told him, I'm a game player, I'm a gamer. And almost every athlete you talk to is going to tell you, I'm a gamer. Yeah, Tedford tends to put a lot of pressure on his quarterbacks in practice, so he tries to set that game environment.
Yeah, Jeff said, I don't believe in gamers. Straight back again to pick the blitz up this time. Ayoub throws too tall, way too tall. Intended for Noah Smith. And I would have to attribute this to nerves.
Yeah, I mean, he's a talented quarterback. There's no question about it. He's going to be a very good passer. But he's young in this system. He's transferring to a different speed of the game than he was playing at last year. He's trying to change his technique. So he's got a lot of things going on, a lot of numbers and new words running through his head. It's when you get over that learning curve. You know, it gets pretty steep. As soon as you get over that learning curve is when you can really start to settle in and feel comfortable. And he's clearly not comfortable in the system yet.
0 for 5 thus far for Joe Ayoub. Looking at a 3rd and 10. They drop everybody into coverage, and Ayoub going deep, and he had Smith, and he missed it.
Smith ran a nice route, a corner route, and he came out flat. Ayoub expected him to come out high. Jody Johnson over there in coverage, but Ayoub expected Smith to get upfield on that corner route. Instead, Smith came out flat, and Smith wasn't happy about it. You can see here he is frustrated because he had his man beat. And Ayoub just couldn't deliver that ball.
Well, the Bears just really sputtering. There's a look at Lavelle Hawkins. He's not playing today because of a transfer. Some minutia in the language of transferring out of a junior college into a 4-year school, and when you enroll, it's nothing that he did. Or didn't do. One of those NCAA things. Punt goes out of bounds at about the 12-yard line. Hawkins, one of the more talented receivers on this California team and a potential starter, will play next week.
You're going to hear his name a lot. Coach Tedford likes him as a receiver. Yet another kid, City College of San Francisco. I mean, they had some players over there.
They did, and they've made that transition pretty well. Now, Joe Ayoub is struggling a bit, but Desmond Bishop has been sensational. And Hawkins is a guy, even though he came from City College of San Francisco, he did have a training camp at LSU with whom he originally signed. Never played for them, but he did go through a training camp. So he knows about the speed of the game.
And that's a pretty fast team down there at LSU.
I'll say. Well, the Hornets are just going to take a knee here and be content with going in just 7 points down. And I know we always talk about moral victories, but I don't think there's any question but that this one clearly was a moral victory for the Hornets, who actually go on at halftime with an opportunity to win this ballgame. And you know that's going to be the speech given by Steve Meshogian when he gets this team in there. We're 7 points down. We've played this team dead even since the opening drive, and we got a real chance to win. And the Cal Bears, of course, Jeff Tedford very likely will just be saying, you've got to cut out the mistakes. Relax, have fun, go out and play football. 30 minutes of football left. Halftime activities after this.
I'm with Mike Franz, the boss at Elk Grove.
Steve Meshogian. Nicole?
All right, with Steve Meshogian, Coach, this is not the score we expected to see at halftime, 10-3. What's driving your team right now? What have you seen?
Well, a lot of it's on emotion. We talk about our 3 F words: focus, fight, and finish. And that's all we want to do for 4 quarters. Play each play, snap the whistle, and the kids are playing hard on both sides. And hey, we wanted to show them that we belong. I think we've done that. Now we need to show them. Now we need to finish the job.
All right, guys, back up to you.
All right, thanks. And let me correct myself immediately. Steve Meshogian, of course, not Meshogian, and we know that.
Yeah, he's a joy to talk to. He's an upbeat guy. You know, he's full of energy. I've got to say that he has some of the great cliches of college football, past, present, and future.
And one thing I can tell you, can't spell the 3 Fs. But he can coach football, you know. And he and Jeff Tedford, of course, have a long-standing relationship. He worked with him at Fresno State. And, they've been together before. But he said, you know what? Jeff's not answering his cell phone anymore. Same thing with John Gruden. I used to work for him. He doesn't answer his cell phone anymore either. And I'll tell you what, if Steve Meshogian goes on to beat his pal, I don't think Jeff will be answering his phone at all.
Yeah, there's a good chance Jeff will never answer that cell phone.
Well, the Hornets are going to get the ball first to start the second half. Kugler going to be the deep man. He'll handle this the 5-yard line. Comes right back up the middle here. Gets a little gap, tries to spin it to the outside and stop at about the 22-yard line.
You're going to see Chris Hurd in there again at quarterback. Now that he's had 1 half under his belt, got the halftime environment, corrected a few things. Now we're going to see how he responds coming out in the second half, and that's how quarterbacks grow. You get in there, you take some snaps, you evaluate, and then you go back and you do it again. So we're going to see his growth from the first half to the second half here.
Well, he got the team moving, I thought. They were a very different team when he came on. So Hurd will be at quarterback. Ryan Mole, the lone setback. 4 wide receivers, a double slot formation to start. This is Mole, and he comes right up the middle, gets across the 25 to the 26. Tosh Lupoy makes the tackle for California, but a pick up a 4 on first down. A little more than 4, almost 5 yards on first down.
And that puts you in good position. If you can pick up 4 or 5 yards on first down, it really opens up your offense because it becomes a run-pass situation. You can do whatever you want. You can slip in some play action there. So good job by Ryan Mole getting that yardage and really allowing the offensive coordinator to be free with his play calling.
So second down, a short 6 for Hurd. Short drop this time and throws too tall, intended for Kugler on a quick screen.
They actually had a pretty nice gain. If Hurd gets that out there with a catchable ball, Kugler would have had a good 6-7 yards before Donnie McCleskey could have kind of come up and made the tackle. Kugler, we talked about Mike Preacher, Coach Preacher's father this week, that he passed away. Ryan Kugler actually was down in the ICU with him, and Preacher couldn't speak any higher about Kugler, what a good kid he is, 3.7 GPA, just a good person overall. So not just a great leader on the field, but a good kid as well, spending time down there comforting his coach.
From Richmond, right within a shouting distance virtually of this stadium, and the pass this time is caught by Miller, and he was close to the first down when he made the catch, but goes backward a yard or two. Donnie McCluskey accounted for that. And so the Hornets will have to give it up.
One of the things as a receiver that Miller, I'm sure, will learn over the course of film study is if you need 6 yards for the first down, you get 6 yards. If you need 5 yards, you get 5 yards. So cut it short. He needs to get to the sticks, get that first down so that when you catch the ball, you've already got it.
So Lively will punt it away to Mixon. And the Bears come after this and don't get it. And a fairly short kick. Mixon runs up, makes a fair catch at the 37-yard line. That's where the Bears will start. 34-yard punt, but more importantly, no return, as the Bears went for the block that time. So Joe Ayoub will come out to start the second half for California, 0 for 6. And a reminder, today's game brought to you by Roseville Auto Mall. 16 dealers, 21 brands, just one location, and that is Eureka Road off I-80 in Roseville. Ayoub the quarterback, Marshawn Lynch the tailback, Mandarina the fullback. And the give is to Lynch, and Lynch gets by the first wave of tacklers and kicks it outside. Look out, midfield to the 45 to the 43-yard line.
And that's exactly the Marshawn Lynch that we've been talking about, that we saw in the open. His lateral movement is amazing. He will hit a hole downhill, but watch this move as he hits the line of scrimmage. One move to the right now, watch a shake inside, and then immediately he goes back outside and hits that burst of speed. That guy's hard to tackle. I mean, that would be impossible to tackle if you're a linebacker. Not only can he move straight ahead, but he can move side to side as well. And then he has the power at the end to finish it off, showing Brandon Smith that he's just not a move guy, not a jitterbug guy, but he can also lower his shoulder.
And Brandon Smith was shaken up on the play, and he will limp to the sidelines, and I thought he was one of the key players defensively for Sac State.
Yeah, obviously that big interception in the first half. And we've really been calling his name a lot. He's all over the field making tackles, making plays.
Looked like he might have just gotten kicked. I think he will be okay. At the 42-yard line, a pickup of 20 for Lynch. And here's Lynch again, this time to the left side. And slips by the first group of tacklers again. But, you know, he's one of those guys where the first tackler rarely gets him.
Almost never. And you've seen him at times, Jody Johnson making the tackle, but you've seen him where he's actually wrapped up. A guy's got his jersey, got him wrapped up, and he will actually widen his base. He'll get a wide base, and you're not bringing him down. He will just, you know, it's like he's a 600-pound squatter. He'll squat right off you.
So he is now over 100 yards, right at 100 yards, 17 carries, 100 yards for Marshawn Lynch. But this has all been a lot tougher for the Bears than anybody anticipated. Here's a blitz. Ayoub throws underneath and unable to make the catch with Stevens. And that one Ayoub did put in his hands. And the flag is down.
Well, that was Craig Stevens. And Stevens is going to be a good tight end. Jeff Tedford, again, yesterday singing his praise, is going to be a good player for Cal. But he's got to make that catch.
So that one's not on Ayoub. That one is on his receiver. But as it stands, Ayoub is going to be 0 for 7. But I think it's not going to matter because we're going to get a penalty against California.
Illegal touching, number 82 of the offense. 82 was a tight end. He was covered by the wide receiver. Therefore, it is ineligible for him to touch the ball. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
And again, that's first game problems. The receivers outside of Craig Stevens should have both been off the line of scrimmage in a slot position. Instead, one of them stepped to the line of scrimmage, which means the last man on the line of scrimmage is eligible. Therefore, he covered up, as the official said, Craig Stevens. That makes it ineligible touching, so it doesn't really matter.
So again, the Bears going backwards, 2nd and 11. 2 tights, 2 wideouts, single setback. Straight back goes Ayoub. He has time, and he throws for the tight end. And he floated it out there for John Rust. And coming up to make the play was Shelton. Rust was open, but Shelton recovered nicely.
Yeah, and Rust didn't really come out of his break real fast. You know, you can't expect tight ends to run routes like receivers, but he needs to come out of that break a little quicker. And Ayoub delivered it on time, but he needs to throw that ball to the outside more. I remember earlier we saw Noah Smith come out flat. Rust came out high there. And in doing that, he allowed Shelton to cut underneath that.
California converted its first 2 third down attempts, and since then, just 1 of 7. And here they are now in a 3rd and long. Ayub going to put it up, airs it out over the middle, and the man was held up. No flag.
David Gray was wide open down the sideline. Ayub stared that seam route down the whole time. If he'd come off that and come out to David Gray down the sideline, he had 6 points. He had his first touchdown pass.
As it is, another incompletion. And he is now 0 for 8.
That's a rough start.
That is. And of course, this is the kind of game you want to build confidence in a young quarterback. And who knows now? He may have to be the guy, at least for the foreseeable future, depending on the extent of the injury to Longshore, which we will find out. It's a high, short kick. Miller's going to let this bounce, and he's going to skip into the end zone for a touchback. Same kind of punt that Lively had going the other way, and Lively got it to kick sideways and down to the 3-yard line, and no such luck, though, for Loney. So Sac State will take over again. The Bears come up empty. Well, Cache Creek presents the Best Damn Boxing Period, September 30th. Glenn Johnson versus George Jones. You might get a chance to see John Sally, Chris Rose. Rich Murata and I will also be hanging around those guys. I'd like to hang around Sal. Best Damn Sports Show Period from Cache Creek, September 30th. Tickets are available at cachecreek.com or any Ticketmaster outlet.
And a good attitude. Sac State sideline, Sac State huddle up. They know that they are in this game. They've got a chance to be a giant killer today.
You bet they do. And they're the team that's brimming with confidence, and it's Cal that's kind of reeling here. Joe Ayub just not able to get started at all, has made some real inexperienced reads, and I'm sure Jeff Tedford is scratching his head right now. Look up into the California booth, and Bob Gregory, the defensive coordinator, on the right. Bob has reason to be proud of his defense. They're doing a pretty good job. Incidentally, let's give you the report on Nate Longshore as we have it. It's a sprained left ankle. X-rays, however, were negative, and that bodes well. As far as his return today, they say it is doubtful, and I would expect we will not see him, but it does not appear to be a serious injury, at least one that would threaten his season.
And of course, when they say X-rays negative, X-rays only check bones, so no break. But you can never tell what's going on with the soft tissue until you get the MRI later. But nowadays, with all the modalities and the stem and the ice and everything else, you guys can make some amazing recoveries, and especially in the college level when their bodies are used to getting repaired all the time.
That's right. First down for the Hornets at the 20-yard line. Kugler comes in motion. Long count from Hurd. And finally, they get the play off. Hurd straight back. Swing out of the backfield for Moore. And can't hang on to it. It's down there. Bears jumping on that football, and that's what you do. Pretty close to a lateral, but I don't believe it was.
No, it wasn't, but that's a very heads-up play out there. Again, Bishop to jump on that football just in case it is a lateral. It gets ruled a lateral. And doing a good job, Hurd, keeping his head downfield, looking downfield. And Mole just didn't watch that one all the way in. If he watches that in, he makes the catch. But he was too anxious to turn his shoulders upfield to make the run.
It was very close to a lateral. Second down and 10. And Hurd gives to Mole, and Mole starts to the right side. The flag comes in at the 22-yard line. It's been a relatively penalty-free ball game.
Penalty-free, but sloppy nonetheless.
Yes. Oh, yes. Well, in fact, I think the Hornets have been more crisp than the Bears have. It's going to go against Sac State.
You know, both Bob Gregory and Jeff Tedford told us he wanted to see their team execute, not getting it done right now. Sac State on the other side, Moose, Coach Mishagan, told us the same thing. Wants to see his team execute. And I think Sac State's actually doing a pretty decent job of executing. I don't think either team has been perfect. First game, you never are. But I think
personal foul, face mask, number 58 of the offense. Penalty is half the distance of the goal. Repeat second down.
Well, that's a big one. That's going to put Sac State in a long yardage situation.
That's Heath Pritchard, number 58. You see it right in the middle of your screen. Yeah, that face mask. That face mask is not a handle. It's not built for that. Talked to Mike Preacher. He said Heath Pritchard is one of those nasty guys. He just walks around nasty. He's nasty all the time.
Wakes up nasty.
Yeah, not just field nasty, but purely nasty.
What a compliment. Here's a screen for Kugler. He's got a little room. Kugler cut it the wrong way. Back to 20-yard line, and again ahead about the 23. Had he gone to the outside, there might have been a lot more room there. Desmond Bishop was coming. Donnie McCluskey finished him off.
And that big hit was Desmond Bishop. That's the linebacker hitting the receiver. And Kugler held his own against Bishop. That was pretty impressive because those big guys coming out of the middle like that will normally take a receiver off their feet.
Well, he got the penalty plus a little bit more back, and now Hornets looking at 3rd and 7.
Well-designed screen. That's Bishop right there being shed by Kugler. Good job by McCluskey making a tackle at the end. And McCluskey, I always say, no matter what field he's on, he is the best football player out there.
Swing this time to Mole out of the backfield. Mole fighting for the first down, but he comes up short. Desmond Bishop tripped him up. Been very impressed with Bishop.
Yeah, Bishop's been great. He's been all over the field. You know, we were talking about Donnie McCluskey just a second ago. Here's a guy that was an All-American 2 years ago. He's a natural hitter, natural football player. Now, against Southern Miss, on a blitz, just absolutely destroying the quarterback. He has a real knack for getting in the backfield, making big tackles, big plays, injured all of last year. So nice that he's able to get back out here and play at his full strength. He's coming in as healthy as he's been in over a year.
And defensively, the Bears have played it pretty vanilla today, as Bob Gregory indicated they might. Bears come after this punt, don't get it. Lively gets it out of there. Mixon's going to handle it at the 38-yard line. Now he's got some field. Look out, 45, midfield. He's the 45, the 40, could go. He's got a wall of blockers in front of him, but he's run out of bounds at the 24-yard line.
But that one's going to come all the way back. Randy Bundy was out there, and he's either going to get called for holding or an illegal block in the back.
I don't see a flag.
Oh, I thought I saw a flag. You know, the ref just threw his beanbag. So my mistake.
Got a good block from Justin Forsett.
Well, and if it wasn't holding or blocking the back, then Bundy did a nice job blocking out there at the point.
Well, we're going to take a timeout here. The Bears in business, but can they convert? They lead it 10-3. 10-11 left, third quarter. We're coming back to Memorial Stadium in Berkeley. 10-3 ball game. Watch the blocking on his 39-yard punt return by Mixon.
Well, Pertz gets a big block right there. Decleater to pick up one. Mixon gets out to the left, and watch Justin Forsett tailback. Ouch! That's going to hurt. That one's going to leave a mark tomorrow.
So Ayub straight back on him, man, and he missed Jackson.
He missed him. He had him wide open, and he missed him. You know what he's doing right now? They call it pulling the string as a quarterback. You're not confident in making that throw, so he's pulling the string. In golf, it's called deceleration. He's trying to guide that ball in there instead of just letting it fly. And the ball drifted to the outside and right. And that's a horrible feeling as a quarterback. You know you missed him.
Got to be.
Yeah, that's got to be a touchdown every time, no matter where you're playing.
Even if you just floated out. So Ayub's struggles continue. Second out. Give us to Lynch this time. That's it. He's in the gap. Look out. At the 10 outside of the 5-yard line. Tries to cut it back. Spins away down to the 2-yard line. Can he bring it?
He showed the burst. He showed the lateral movement. He showed the spin. Brent Weber out there trying to tackle him. We thought he was a ghost. All of a sudden, he was there, and next time he was gone.
31 yards.
So he goes, hits the hole, slides right. There's the lateral movement. Another break outside. Whoop, one more time, and watch the spin.
Boy, he's tough. Down to the 2-yard line.
He's an all-around back. And because he runs with such a wide base, you don't notice how fast he is. Not to mention the fact I don't think 10 is really conducive to a fast-looking running back, the number itself. But he is so fast and so strong.
Well, it was easy there for 2 yards and a California touchdown, and it was all Marshawn Lynch.
And a nice job by that California offensive line, too, of course. Those big guys, Mers and O'Callahan on the right-hand side, clearing the hole out for Lynch both times. And actually, both those guys are on a diet right now. Talked to Coach Jim Mahalchuk, the offensive line coach for Cal. He said both those guys, one's 360, O'Callahan. Mers is listed at 340. I think they're both over that on the scale, so they're both on a little bit of a diet.
Try for point by Schneider is up and good. The Bears have stretched their lead to 14 thanks to the 39-yard punt return by Mixon and a 31-yard run by Marshawn Lynch, who has 131 yards on the day. But I'm sure Jeff Tedford is still scratching his head because he's got a quarterback out there who's 0 for 9.
And really some easy completions if he throws it. So this is the adversity he was telling us about that you have to work through as a quarterback, and AU will grow from this experience. He just wants to see him grow right now.
That's right.
A little pick-me-up for Bear fans, of course.
Well, let's see what the Hornets have now, as this will test their fortitude a little bit.
You know, at this point, I think regardless of what happens, Sac State walks out of here with a lot of energy going into their season.
I think so, too, and I think, you know, the teams in the Big Sky Conference are going to take a long look here and think that Hornets will be a team to be reckoned with.
Yeah, you know, with depth and size, the Bears are going to be able to wear a lot of teams out. So Sac State doesn't have the same amount of depth. They don't have the same amount of size, but they played toe-to-toe for that whole first half and half of the second quarter so far. If they respond, that really sends a message.
So the Hornets will start at the 20-yard line here behind Chris Hurd. Chris, the transfer from UTEP by way of Washington State. From Antioch, California, played his high school ball here in the Bay Area.
There's Nate Longshore on the sideline.
So we're not going to see him, as he is in sweats. Start with an empty backfield, now shift Mole into the backfield. Short drop this time, and a pass underneath, and the catch made. Not an easy catch made that time. By Kugler again. Kugler is clearly the #1 target of Chris Hurd.
And I thought you made a really good point earlier, Barry. You're not seeing a lot of what the Bears do on defense. They're really more of a pressure team. They like to bring DBs, bring backers, change things up, twist and slam in that front line. And they're not doing a lot of it right now. They're not going to give away a lot of their packages. So Sac State being able to work into zone coverage right now rather than having to worry about the man coverage and the pressure package.
And here's a give to Mole, and Mole hangs onto the football and picks up a first down to the 33, maybe the 34-yard line. Desmond Bishop makes the stop, but not before Mole gained enough for a first down. Bishop did get a little piece of the ball, as a matter of fact, and Mole had to juggle it for a moment. Incidentally, crowd today, 65,938. That's the largest opening day crowd ever, breaking the record set last year of 58,900 for New Mexico State.
On top of that, the Bears selling over 40,000 season tickets this year.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah, from an all-time low at one point. I think it was just over 12 or just over 15,000. A couple winning seasons in a row. Just changed the face of Cal football.
That time Perry running a streak down the left sideline, and Hurd just didn't get the ball to him. Tim Mixon defending.
Yeah, I talked about AU pulling the string earlier. Hurd had no idea what Perry was going to do. You see him kind of half-heartedly, I'm not sure where. Okay, I'll just throw it on the ground.
Yeah, kind of threw a duck, too.
Yeah, no idea where he was going with that football. Didn't know whether Perry was going to slow down or keep going. So he pulled the string a little bit right there. And that's where a young quarterback, remember, he came into camp a week late to begin with. Just got cleared the other day, hasn't taken a bunch of reps. That's where getting that communication, that feel with the receivers will make a huge difference later in the season.
He's got to hurry here. He's got 5 seconds to get this play off. And he does. And Hurd will roll out to his right to buy some time. Now he throws back again across the body intended for Kugler, and Kugler is out of bounds. That'll be no catch.
He was late on that ball. If he comes out and on his 5th step throws that ball to the outside, he's got Kugler, again, learning on the run. But he was late. He tried to round that tackle. Watch him as he rolls to the right. So there's 1 step. On his 5th step, he needs to make that throw. 3, 5. Right there, the ball should be out. Instead, he throws it about, 5 steps late, and that ball's out of bounds.
Well, remember, it's a guy that has not played in 3 years. So all that timing kind of thing still being worked on. Here's a screen for Mole. Could have some room at the 30, at the 35 to the 39-yard line. And the Hornets will have to give it up. Matthew Malele making the tackle for California, but it'll be punt time once again. Now Mixon returned the last one 39 yards.
And I think Hurd, for a guy without a lot of snaps, especially in this system, has really shown up pretty good. You know, we talked about the timing. He's probably only thrown that route 4 or 5 times since he's been out of Sac State in camp. You have to throw a route 20, 25 times before you feel truly comfortable in delivering it on time.
Absolutely. Bears come after this one, too, and don't get it. They do force a short punt, and Mixon's going to have to let this one go, and it will wind up somewhere around the 30-yard line. Right at the 30-yard line, that's where the Bears will start. They lead it by 14, but they really haven't been able to put the Hornets away. 7:29 left, third quarter. California will have it when we come back.
Gentlemen, this, in the contextually relevant sense, is it. We need maximum expenditure of bodily fuels. Biosynthesis of glycogen, polysaccharide reserves, fibrous tissue, in the established confines, fully maturated male, Latin and Greek derivation, of a purely expository nature. Aggregated whole. This is our domicile.
Whose domicile? Our domicile!
Well, in 3 weeks, the Aggies of UC Davis will invade the Hornets' nest to take on Sac State in the 52nd annual Causeway Classic. UC Davis and Sac State, you're not going to want to miss this classic football rivalry. It takes place Saturday, September 24th at 2 o'clock right here on Comcast Sportsnet. And it is one of the great games. I've had an opportunity to do that game 2-3 years ago. Cal State, or rather Sac State and Cal Aggies, and there's a lot of emotion in that game.
No, there is natural rivalry and well-coached football teams.
Aggies moving up to 1AA officially this year. Straight ahead this time, Marshawn Lynch, and nothing doing. Got about 2. Now you still looking for that first completion, and you would think at some point they might try to throw some safe kind of pass.
A screen or a hitch or something. You know, but they have thrown a couple of the safe underneath.
Yeah.
A little option by the tight end, quick out by the tight end. They've thrown some stuff that he should have hit. And, of course, the corner, which was open. You know, he's had some opportunities. But I remember before I played, I got to watch for 3 years. And the first time I stepped in there, the game was going really, really fast. This is the first game he's had a uniform on at the D1 level. So the game's got to be going 100 miles an hour.
Well, this time, miscommunication. Ayub was backing out of there, and they're going to get a delay game call. I think he was trying to check off. And a little problem between he and Marvin Phillip. So the struggles continue for
Prior to snap,
Joe
dead ball
Ayub.
foul, false start, offense, 71, 5 yards. It remains second down.
Well, I think Ayub hurried up his count. He saw that clock winding down, and so he was trying to get it off in a hurry. And you can't change your count for those big guys. You have to be on time. You have to be right because they're not used to hearing it change. They're already dealing with 2 quarterbacks with different snap count, different cadences. Just made the whole line look like popcorn.
2nd and 11 now. Ayub straight back. Now he rolls left. Now he's going to come back the other way. He might have some room here. Tries to step outside. He's in a heap of trouble. Down he goes right about the line of scrimmage. Maybe gained a yard. Tyson Butler, Kyle McDonald on the stop. And you could almost see Ayub thinking, I can't make a mistake. I don't want to make a mistake.
Yeah, I don't want to force it in there. I don't want to throw that ball. And again, he's rolling to his left as a right-hander. He'd have to get his shoulders around to make that throw too. Didn't like what he see. One of the things that they like about him, he adds escapability. He is swift of foot. He can move a little bit with the football. So that's another dimension that he brings, which Longshore doesn't necessarily have. So you have 2 guys that are a little bit different in terms of being able to run the football.
And again, at City College, that's a 20-yard gain. Ayub straight back again. Throws too tall, way too tall. Intended for Noah Smith. He'd have to be Yao Ming to make that catch. And even then, he might not get up enough. Well, it's a learning process, and Ayub, a very confident guy. Remember he was saying to Jeff Tedford, I'm a gamer, I'm a gamer. Well, Jeff said, I don't believe in it. You know what? My money's on the coach.
Yeah, I think we've discounted that theory at this point, but he is a talented player. This is not to take away from what he's going to be. But he'll remember back on this outing and kind of blink his eyes when he talks about it.
I think that's right. Here's a nice high twisting kick. Miller going to handle it to 20. Starts back right up the gut. Gets it to about the 31-yard line. Pretty good return by Miller. Off that high punt, 50-yard kick and an 11-yard return. Ryan Foltz on the tackle for California. And we want to remind you to hurry down to Del Taco. Try the new carne asada steak taco. It's an authentic taco. It's got 2 hot corn tortillas, freshly grilled marinated steak, a little tangy guacamole. I remember tangy guacamole. Great dancer. Fresh salsa and a squeeze of lime. That's the carne asada taco, only at Del Taco. Also remember Del Taco. Spunky shortstop, as I recall.
Lefty, right? Playing
I think
short?
he was.
Yeah.
Leadoff hitter. First down Hornets, just across the 30-yard line. I'm not sure what that was. It's a fumble and the Bears have it. I know that. That was a pitch handoff.
That was awful. That was awful. That is a guy who has not been playing in a system. It was supposed to be a little draw. Hurd went, oh, I'm going the wrong way, and tried to turn around. He still could have reached and stretched and put that ball in there. Instead, he tried to toss it. There is going to be some snickering, some laughter, and then there's going to be a lot of correction in the film room about that one.
I think so, too. Maafala was the guy that fell on the ball for California. So the Bears will get it back here at the 29-yard line. And what do you think? You come back to that same corner route that misfired just a couple of moments ago?
Yeah, you try to get something. Well, you got to give Ayoub some confidence.
But it's not Ayoub as at quarterback right now. And straight back this time goes Levy, and this one is almost intercepted.
Well, it was intercepted, and that's a turnover because DeSean Jackson actually got the strip. And Chris Mandarino on it. Tyson Butler makes the catch. He gets the interception, comes down with it. Then DeSean Jackson, smart, heads up for a young player. You see, he's getting hit as he throws.
Possession on the play, an interception. The fumble was recovered by California. Results in a 1st and 10 for California.
Well, there's one of those breaks that when the game is going like this, you hope doesn't happen if you're on the Hornets side of the field, and you hope does happen if you're on the Bears side. So Ayoub's afternoon is done. And Bears going to 3rd-string quarterback Steve Levy. Levy came as a quarterback, moved positions last year, and now came back as a quarterback and was installed as the number 3 quarterback. And he's in charge of running his football team now as Ayoub came up absolutely empty. And the give this time is to Lynch, and Lynch will get it down to about the 21-yard line. Pickup of about 4.
Yeah, Levy actually played fullback and a lot of special teams for the Bears last couple of years. He came in as one of those kids at the quarterback position that they talk about with that linebacker mentality. Real tough kid, real energetic, great team player, do whatever it takes to help out. And he actually in high school got voted the New Jersey Jewish Athlete of the Year, and he said, but hey guys, I'm not Jewish, which was a pretty funny story, I thought.
That's very funny. Give it to Lynch again. Lynch trying to bounce it outside. How did he get through there? And he's going to be close to a 1st down. That was a sensational run.
And he'll just keep dragging people, bouncing off people. You know, Steve Lynn there just getting dragged along. Well, that's a new career high. Marshawn Lynch, 136 rushing yards. Remember, he's been the number 2 back for the first year of his career. Just a little ISO. You see fullback coming up there, Chris Mandarino, and Lynch finding a gap and just dragging Lynn. That's a linebacker he's dragging along. It's not a DB.
Almost slipped out of that, too. 3rd down short. And they give it to Mandarino, and Mandarino will have the 1st down. Inside the 15-yard line, James Henderson makes the stop.
Mandarino is another one of those kids that you really love to watch. Real tough guy. Talk with Jeff Tedford about Chris Mandarino, what he brings to this team. You know, he's always been a little bit underrated, but he, during spring ball, got hit in the jaw. I mean, got hit so hard in the jaw that he broke his jaw. And Jeff said he was talking to him, and Mandarino's teeth were actually fluttering back and forth because the jaw was separated as he was trying to get back in line for the drill.
It's unbelievable. He defines the term tough guy. Here's Lynch again behind Mandarino, and he'll get it down about the 10-yard line. Clock ticking down here in the 3rd quarter, coming down toward 3 minutes remaining.
Number 10, Marshawn Lynch, the ball carrier.
I think the Bears, looks to me like the Bears have just decided that they're just going to grind it out here. try to beat up on the Hornets.
2, second and 8.
I think Coach Tedford, taking Ayoub out, kind of made the decision, let's not do it anymore to him. I don't necessarily think it's a performance issue as much as let's not kill the kid's confidence early on here.
I agree. Levy going to go up, looks to the end zone, floats it out there, deep end zone. Stevens can't hang on in the far corner.
Good read.
Too long.
Good read. Just let him a little bit too far with that football. He needs to really match his shoulders, throw a tight spiral, and drop that ball in. You get a touchdown. See, just a little play action. If he see that front left shoulder was up a little bit. If he gets that down, throw a tight spiral, you can drop that ball in a little bit quicker. Those defenders are looking the other way.
So now 3rd down and 7. They can make a first down without scoring a touchdown. Forsett comes out as a wide receiver to the near side. Empty backfield. Blitz comes. Levy throws through it. Pull the trigger a little quicker. Intended that time for Eric Began.
Brett Shelton was there, actually the safety on the outside, a little bit early. But when they mix it up that close to the line of scrimmage, oftentimes you won't get that pass interference call.
So now it's going to be 4th and 7.
Coach Tedford getting justifiably frustrated on the sideline.
Well, with good reason. I mean, when you take a look at some of the numbers, 27-yard field goal try here for Schneider.
And Nate Longshore, 8 for 11 to start the game off till he got injured. The rest of the Cal quarterbacks are 0 for 13.
You really have to wonder, that is up and good by Schneider. One of the bright spots in this game for California, and the Bears have taken a 17-point lead. They lead at 20-3. You really have to wonder when the last time a Jeff Tedford coach team did not complete a pass for more than a quarter, because you got to go back to when Longshore was hurt in the 2nd quarter.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a long drought for a quarterback, for any quarterback. I'm sure Jeff is not used to seeing that, having coached several first-round picks over the last couple of years.
I'm sure he's going to be asking for volunteers. He was a quarterback. I wonder if he's got any eligibility left.
He still, you know what the funny thing about it is, he still has that drive. You can see the athlete's look in his eye when you talk to him. You can tell how much he loves this game and how important the game is to him, and you can see that fiery competitiveness in his eyes. You can just feel it when you talk to him.
Well, I think he's going to have to do some soul searching. Of course, it depends on what Nate Longshore's situation is for next week's game as they open the conference up in Seattle. Incidentally, Air Force Academy beat Washington today, 20-17. Washington's defense is pretty good. Kugler, about 5 yards deep, is not going to try this. And he's going to have a real decision if Longshore is not able to play.
That's tough. Yeah, and you know, your number 2 guy, you have to get him a lot of snaps, whoever it is. And all 3 of these guys, you know, none of them had taken a snap in a D1 game prior to today. So it's that's a tough decision to make. But you know, he is a quarterback guru. He will find a way to get a guy that can complete passes. And with that big offensive line, they're going to have to rely on the rushing game.
I think that's right. Yeah. But you can't be unidimensional. I mean,
no, you have to. I think what you do is you narrow down what you do on offense. Just throw the ball to keep guys out of the box. Just enough of that, and then run the ball as much as possible.
Hornets start at the 20-yard line. 2:20 remaining, 3rd quarter.
Dead ball, delay of game, offense number 7, 5 yards. It remains first down.
Chris Hurd having those issues about just not playing, and you talked about the speed of the game, and there's a part of it right there. There's no question that California's offensive line, that's the experienced unit on this team, and it's really what's going to drive the offense. And that was what Jeff Tedford talked about the other day, is how much he's going to rely on his offensive line, maybe even more so now.
We expect the offensive line to set the tone in every game. You know, I think you can set your identity right there at the offensive line, at the tight end position, at the fullback position by how physical we play. our offensive line has always played very physical, and so I wouldn't expect anything different if we're playing the #1 team in the country or who we're playing. I mean, that's the mindset we like to go into every game with, is that we're going to be very physical at the line of scrimmage.
And they have been. Marshawn Lynch has run the ball very well. I don't think there's any criticizing the offensive line. I think most of the incompletions, especially on the part of Joe Ayub, were strictly one of inexperience, nervousness, and misreads.
No, that's exactly right. You know, the offensive line has played well, and you've got some guys up there that can really move people. You know, Andrew Cameron playing that left tackle, physical player, played every game last year. Eric Robertson, kind of really the new face to the line this year. But you have Marvin Phillip, preseason All-American, real competitor for the Remington Award. Aaron Merce, we talked about playing that right guard, who's a beast. And Ryan O'Callahan is as good a tackle as they've had in this place since Todd Stussy, who's a pretty good player in his own right.
Yeah, that's right. Well, you were talking the other day, yesterday, when we were with the coaches about maybe this is the best offensive line that California has had ever.
Yeah, I mean, at least since I've been involved with the program. You know, I was here with Stussy, Troy Auzine, who was a second-round pick, played for a long time in the NFL, Steve Gordon, who was as tough a football player as has ever played the game, playing that center position. Eric Malum, you know, second-round pick as well. So we had some great linemen. When you think about lines that came through here, had Ben Lynch, who was a great football player, ended up with the Niners for a while. Had Jeremy Newberry, you know, everybody will know that name.
Ed White.
Yeah, Todd Stussy on that line. There's some great linemen that have come through this place. And this line is as talented as most of those.
Give again to Mole, and Mole didn't get anything. Maybe a yard. And it's going to be 3rd down and 10.
Pace of this game slowing down right now, obviously. Guys running the football and kind of dragging out. I don't think anybody expected it to be here, including the Sac State coaches.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right. Slot right on 1st down. And rolling to his right, and in trouble is Hurd, and he slips through and is down finally at about the 14-yard line. On him was Brendan Mebane. And once again, the Hornets will give it back to the Bears.
And Mebane, one of those guys that they're really going to count on at the D tackle spot. You know, he was a starter last year alongside Lorenzo Alexander. I think they've really got something special in Mebane. Good job. Defensive ends getting upfield and keeping Hurd inside that pocket. Mebane just able to clean it up.
So Lively will hit this at about the 4-yard line. The Bears come after it again. Again, they don't get it, but again, they force a short punt that kicks sideways and goes out of bounds in Hornet territory at about the 47-yard line. So the Bears again will start with a short field. They have not been able to do much business, though. And we'll see who comes out to play quarterback. We know it won't be Longshore, as you see him walk through with crutches.
Hard to throw the ball holding on to crutches.
I think so. But he may be able to do it as well as anybody else. Marshawn Lynch today, of course, has come up big. Bobbled the football the first time he touched it. After that, like he's running downhill and everybody else running uphill.
He just has amazing quickness and strength. That burst that we talked about early, you can see him just turn it on. And he has every move in the book.
Steve Levy going to be the quarterback, going up on 1st down. He's going to air it out. He's got a man out here. It's Smith. Touchdown, Bears. Threw that one pretty good.
Well, if you're going to make your first completion, that's the way to do it. Double post out there.
Well, the Bears have had guys wide open all day long, and that time, Levy found them.
You get man coverage. Noah Smith, one of the fastest players in that receiving corps for Cal. Against man coverage, Brandon Smith out there, remember, got nicked up earlier for Sac State. I'd take my speed every time and try to let that guy make a play.
46 yards on the touchdown for California, one-play drive. That's what the Bears have been looking for. They have been unable to convert a big play. Save the 31-yard run by Marshawn Lynch.
So maybe the trick wasn't to throw the hitch in the screen like we were talking about.
Exactly.
Throw the deep ball.
Let it go.
Let it fly. Levy, just a little play action. Again, the double post inside. Noah Smith on the outside. All-state in track when he came out of high school. And he got some separation there. Actually had to slow down a little bit for that football. That's how fast he is. But a nice ball delivered by Levy. Good route by Noah Smith. That's what Jeff Tedford's looking for in execution from his team.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When you got a running back like Marshawn Lynch, you have to think that it's going to make the passing game a little bit easier, but the Bears have struggled mightily.
Yeah, and we saw the big guys over there congratulating Steve Levy. He's a guy, he's a real team favorite. He's a great locker room guy, great personality. You know, everybody likes having this guy on his team. He's a bit of an offensive lineman in that quarterback uniform, that mentality, and he's just a joy to be around. So guys couldn't be happier for him making that play. He's been around this program for a long time, just trying to find a spot to fit in.
You know all about that lineman mentality.
Love linemen. Best people you'll ever meet.
That's true. Smart. Offensive linemen, somebody's got to explain that to me. Offensive linemen are always the great quotes.
Yeah, they are brilliant. And the trick is they're like engineers and mathematicians. They have to figure all that stuff out. You know, David Loney actually showing up pretty good right now. That's the third kick in a row.
Yeah, that's
down
right.
In the back of the end zone.
You know, the thing about offensive line, John Madden always used to say, and I always really appreciated this, he always used to say the difference between offensive linemen and defensive linemen is defensive linemen are big guys who have always been big guys, and offensive linemen are big guys who used to be little guys.
Well, you know, you'll never hear anything but the truth from offensive linemen because they don't care. They're not scared of anybody. And that's why, you know, they're such good people. They'll tell you like they see it.
Treadway back at quarterback now for Sac State. He throws it to Miller on first down, and Miller will pick up about 8 yards on the play.
The only problem with hanging out with offensive linemen, if you have a little insecurity, they will find it, and they will pick on it.
How about Randy? You know, Randy Cross used to tell me when he was playing with Joe Montana, he'd go out with Joe Montana when both those guys were single, and he'd say, you know what, you really get good looking in a hurry when you go out with the quarterback. We'll jump off the track as we come to the end of the third quarter, and the Bears have it gear right now. 46-yard touchdown pass, Levy to Smith, 27-3 Bears. Well, you're not going to want to miss Comcast Sportsnet's Insider. It takes place every Tuesday night, 7 and 10. Each week, our insiders will give you their take on the NorCal sports scene and the topics that you're talking about. Catch the Insider Tuesday at 7, again at 10 on Comcast Sportsnet. Treadway gives this time to Daniels, now in at running back, and he gets cracked short of the first down. California now playing with a backup defense in large part. And Baku is in the ball game. Fala is in the ball game. Follette, freshman middle backer. Randy Bundy at the corner for Damian Hughes. Try to keep up with these as much as we can. Actually, Hughes is still in the game. Bundy has replaced Mixon. And give to Daniels again, and he's close to the first down. I think he'll have it. Well, you don't want to miss the model year-end clearance sale right now at Elk Grove Acura in the Elk Grove Auto Mall. Get it right at Elk Grove Acura, a member of the Lasher Auto Group. 27-3 ball game, 14-13 remaining to be played. And the Bears have finally, it seems, if not worn out the Hornets, they at least have slowed them down.
Well, and a couple of chance turnovers have helped the Bears, and, you know, taking advantage of those things. The first half, the Hornets took advantage of everything.
Here's a fumble and a loose ball, and it is picked up this time by Mbaku, and Mbaku's going to get it down to the 10-yard line. It'll be California ball, as exactly as you said.
Yeah, speaking of turnovers, right? Just a miscommunication. Treadway coming back, and it looked like the ball just popped out of his hand. So you try to get some guys experience in there, get them some snaps. Treadway just, I don't think he ever really got the snap. And he was in such a hurry to get that ball to his tailback that it just popped out. Baku, right place, right time.
He lost the football also. That actually was another fumble.
He was trying to scoop it up and go for the end zone.
Yeah, he was.
Trying to do the big man dance in the end zone.
So the Bears will hurry to the line of scrimmage here. Maybe try to snap this ball before Hornets get set, still running around defensively, and Levy gives it to Lynch. Lynch straight up the gut, bounces off a man, gets down to the 2-yard line. I tell you, it's a joy to watch him.
He got hit just as his feet hit the ground. Most guys would go flat on their back. Marshawn Lynch just kept driving forward, got 2 more yards after that.
147 yards rushing for Marshawn Lynch. Aaron Mertz clearing away and coming off the field. He appears to be okay.
Now, Lynch put on 15 pounds in the offseason, too, and I don't think it slowed him down a step.
No, it doesn't look like it. You know, and he's one of those guys, they talk about, I suppose this is a cliche, too, but they talk about football speed as opposed to sprinter speed. He's got football speed.
Oh, he absolutely has football speed, and you can't see it, so it's deceptive.
Give it to Mandarino, the fullback. Touchdown, Bears.
Well, let Mandarino get a little bit of love in there. Those blocking backs, they don't get a lot of attention. You know, they're always protecting the quarterback or making the key block, and all you see is a bunch of jumbled bodies, but give the fullback the ball once in a while, a little love. You know, it's like a good dog. You feed him, you take care of him, and they'll always take care of you.
Well, this is a guy, I mean, he's a great story. He's been a starter since he was a freshman. He was a walk-on back in 02, wound up as a starter. His dad was a football player. Father Paul played at Michigan State, a defensive end, and he's got that defensive end mentality. Just a solid, every day, every down player for California.
And a real leader. The team likes to have a guy to lead on that offense. He's your guy.
So Chris Mandarino with the touchdown. Here's another look at it as we go to break. 13-19 left in the ball game. 34-3 now, the Bears over the Hornets. 34-3 ball game now, but don't cry for these Hornets. They, I think, are going to be a factor in the Big Sky Conference. Steve Mashagi, and I think has things headed in the right direction in Sacramento. And of course, today he's got to deal with an old foe, and well, you can't drive attack with a jackhammer.
Yeah, Jeff, I've known Jeff since he was 15 years old, and I read a little article, and Jeff said that I was a cocky little rich kid, and he didn't have anything. You know, that I had to laugh at that. My son and Jeff's oldest son were best friends in elementary school. Families know each other. We just go, you know, probably almost 30 years of a great relationship, and I usually, every time I see him, I'll remember something. We'll come back, and I can get him to laugh, so I'm going to try to get him laughing before the game.
I don't think Coach Tedford was laughing very much that first half.
I don't think so either. I don't think he's going to be laughing after the game either. Return that time to about the 21-yard line. So that the freshman makes the tackle on Kugler.
Treadway going back in for the Hornets. You know, it's a good time to get both your quarterbacks in time. This game doesn't count towards the league for Sac State, so you want to get as much experience for your quarterbacks as possible and your young players, so that when it comes, you know, to live bullets game time, either one of them can take a snap, because being a backup quarterback is just a heartbeat away from being a starter.
Treadway play action, going to put it up on first down. Airs it out for Kugler, just a little tall. Kugler well covered. Defending for California, Wale Forrester.
And a nice job by Forrester. Probably a catchable ball for Kugler, but that shows you the difference between Hurd and Treadway right there. You know, Hurd has an NFL-style cannon. That was about everything Treadway had to get that ball down there. But Treadway, a real heady quarterback, will get you in the right situation, make the right play call, make the right check at the line of scrimmage, which is also a huge part of playing the quarterback position.
Give this time is to Mole, and Mole will be stopped at about the 27-yard line, and that's going to bring about a third down and 8.
Again, the zone blocking by the Sac State offensive line. You see they double Lupoy on the outside.
Still came back
and he still comes back and makes the tackle. It's one of the tricks. As a defensive lineman, you have to be able to fight through that. You saw that Lupoy just turned his shoulders a little bit, got in position to make the play. That's a 6-year senior.
Treadway this time rolling left. Now he pump fakes. Now he pulls it down. He's going to run, and he's going to get the first down across the 35-yard line. Good job that time with a little pump fake. Just froze the California defense just enough.
Actually had Kugler early on if he had his shoulder square to make that throw, but a good decision not to make it, because if that ball floats at all, Cal had a secondary player out there.
Yeah, you're right. He just popped open and then good recovery.
I believe that was Randy Bundy out there, but close. You know, if you throw it on time and you have your shoulders squared, you can make it, but a good decision by a quarterback to tuck that and just get the first down, move the chains.
Play fake this time, and Treadway going up again, airs it out into coverage for Perry, and it's almost intercepted by Bundy. Bundy had a lot of field where he was able to make that catch and get his body turned.
And good position. Randy Bundy, one of the fastest players on this Cal team, former wide receiver now, moved into the defensive backfield, but adds good depth back there. And again, a case of a receiver trying to drift back over that outside shoulder throw. You have to anticipate with a right-handed quarterback that ball's going to drift to the outside. And quite honestly, Philip Perry is a big receiver. He needs to stop and go up for that ball and catch it at its highest point.
2nd down and 10. Bears show blitz, and they come with the blitz, and they get Daniels in the backfield. And flags everywhere.
And there's that pressure package.
I suppose they snuck across. That's going to be a hold.
You know, you get those offensive linemen nervous. They call it sugaring up into that hole. You sugar up in there, and all of a sudden those guys.
Both flags are for the same foul. Holding. Offense. Number 54. Penalties declined. 3rd down.
They start to jump. Mason Mitchell jumped just a little bit too much and went for the grab instead of the block.
Here's a look.
In that left guard spot. A leg tackle against Brandon Mebane.
3rd down a bunch. Treadway short drop, throws too wide, intended that time for Mishagan.
And he was never coming off that backside. Threw against a single receiver into zone back there with 3 blue shirts around it.
So once again, the Hornets will have to give it back to the Bears. DeSean Jackson's going to be the deep man this time. Nixon's afternoon is done. Jackson scored his first collegiate touchdown at the end of the Bears' first drive, an 81-yard drive. Since then, the drives have been short. And a block kick. And it's going to come down into the hands of one of the Bears.
I believe that was Justin Moy who made that block.
And somehow, Sac State wound up with a football, but let's see what the official word is here.
Well, unless the Bears picked it up and fumbled, Justin Moy made the block. So there has to be a possession change. The Bears have to have grabbed that ball and fumbled to give it back to Sac State.
I think that's what they're going to say happened here. Let's take a little look at it. Moy blocked the punt.
There's a double change of possession on this play. As a result, ball will be given to Sacramento State, 1st and 10.
So there's your block. Nobody knows where the football is, which is pretty standard for that case.
And then he just simply gets stripped.
Yeah. Wally Forrester had the ball. He got stripped out there by James Cummings.
So 1st down. After all of that, it's a 1st down at the 31-yard line for Sac State. And Perry has it just bounce in and out of his hands.
Again, that's that concentration. I don't know if you're going to believe me, but that's how they diagram that play on the punt in their special teams meetings. You know, it's a change of possession.
Exactly. Yeah, just strip it.
It's like an onside kick.
Try to grab it. Here's the numbers on Treadway. He too has struggled a bit. James Cummings in the ball game at running back for the Hornets for the first time. 2nd down and 10 right at the 31-yard line. And this is Cummings, and Cummings grabbed from behind on a nice play off the backside by Mebane.
I'll tell you one thing this game is going to lead to is a long film session on both sides of the ball. Both teams are going to watch a lot of film about this game, trying to correct mistakes.
There've been a lot of them. I mean, you expect that, I think, in the first game, but I'm not sure that Jeff Tedford expected quite as many as he's seen today. Third down long. Treadway straight back, swing out of the backfield for Cummings. Cummings try to kick outside and runs over a couple people, gets to the 40-yard line, maybe the 41. But it'll be fourth down, and the Hornets will have to give it up once again.
Dustin Nicolodi actually doing a nice job out in front of that, doing a block to move Cummings downfield.
DeSean Jackson will be the deep man for California. He can scoot. I mean, if you give him some space. Jackson will stand back at the 23-yard line. Bear special teams have been very impressive today.
Almost got another block.
They did. They might have even got a little hand on this. And it's going to kick backwards to about the 37-yard line. They're getting a great push on the punter. And, of course, the one time they did have a return, which was off a block, it was 39 yards for Mixon. We're coming back. Hungry for more Cal football? You're not going to want to miss the Cal Sports Report. You get exclusive interviews and insight that you won't find anywhere else. Cal Sports Report, Thursday nights at 6:30 right here on Comcast Sportsnet. So the Bears will start at the 37-yard line now. Levy remains the quarterback, and Marcus O'Keefe will see his first action of the day. Number 3 running back, and a guy that would start for a lot of teams.
Yeah, good tailback. Hampered a little bit by injuries over his career.
Levy throws a little swing and unable to hold on to it. Out of the backfield was Byron Storr, and he had a lot of green in front of him.
That was a big gain had he caught that ball.
It was.
Well played by Levy. Let Storr get off his block, threw the man to him, delivered the pass.
There's another look.
Another early season nerves, just a naked boot. You see Storr turned his head upfield before he secured that football. He was looking for the green grass.
There was a lot of it.
Or the green turf in this case.
Yes. Now it looks like grass.
That looks just like grass. It's amazing.
Levy maybe checking off here. And he trips and the ball's loose. And it's going to be covered by Sac State. He just tripped. I think the grass got him.
I think he got stepped on by an offensive lineman or maybe a fullback in there. But you know, if you're going down with the football, you need to go down with it at that point. You see him turn. Yeah, he got. Couldn't tell if it was his guard or the tackle outside coming in, but he got tripped by one of the big boys. And that's when you just need to eat that football and go down. Henderson
recovered.
In there to make that recovery.
So Treadway now at the 27-yard line. It's got a little something going here. Call it the 28. He gives on first down to Cummings. Nothing doing. It was Mole, not Cummings. Now Mole has been, this is a guy too that can make some noise, I think, in the Big Sky Conference.
Well, he's got very good vision. He did a nice job of getting his shoulders square to the line of scrimmage. You know, he shows that Marshawn Lynch isn't the only guy that's got some escapability. But again, he's still young. You know, he's learning on the run too. Honorable mention, freshman All-American last year.
Play fake. Treadway took a shot as he threw, and that's going to be a flag against the Bears. Thomas DeCou just kind of got in the way of the intended receiver, Tommy Briggs.
Looked like a calf roping out there at the end.
Yeah, it did.
Little play action pass. You see Treadway taking a shot, but delivering the pass. Abdallah with the hit.
Pass interference defense number 4. Penalties 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
At the 13-yard line.
Pretty sure somewhere in the rule book it says you're not allowed to dance with the guy before the ball gets there.
I think that's right. I'm pretty sure. Got a mark at the 11-yard line. And a first down for the Hornets, looking for their first touchdown here with 9:38 to go.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him throw the ball down here, try to give Treadway a little confidence in there, complete a pass, touchdown pass.
Bears largely second unit defense right now, but a good test for them. And we're going to get a penalty before the snap.
Prior to snap, dead ball foul. False start offense, number 58, 5 yards, remains first down.
That's Heath Pritchard.
A little early.
Please reset the clock. Timer, please reset the clock to 9:38. 9:38.
So the clock is reset by 2 seconds.
Remember with the old analog clocks, they had to click through every number to get back there. Nowadays, the computer clocks, they can just point and click.
The wonders of science. Quick toss over the middle, incomplete. Intended for the tight end Briggs. And well defended, I think, that time.
Yeah, basically a hot pass. Treadway coming up, seeing the pressure, and trying to deliver that ball.
Mickey Pimental was the guy who defended that. So now it'll be second down, 15. Ball back at the 16-yard line. So they get a first down inside the 2-yard line without scoring a touchdown. Treadway straight back. Here comes the pressure. Treadway has to unload. He's got a man wide open, but he threw it too wide.
Got him. He had him early. He was running for his life. Treadway was running for his life.
Pimental was coming hard at him, and it was Pimental that saved the touchdown there for California.
So many times when quarterbacks start rolling one direction or the other, the ball tends to drift that way. You see Treadway getting outside, taking a shot, but he could have been the hero and delivered that ball. See number 81. Fleurenord right there running into the photographer, taking a shot too. It's tough duty down there with the camera.
Boy, I'm telling you, it is. Empty backfield, Treadway straight back. Quick screen this time. And a great defensive play that time by the Bears, as it was a quick screen to Mole. And well covered by California defensively. It was Abdallah who made that play.
Good job recognizing it. Mole out on the outside as a receiver and flying out to take on that screen.
So it's going to be fourth down. I suspect the Hornets will go here. As we said, they can make a first down without making a touchdown, but they need 10. And we mentioned it earlier, but the Bears have played a very vanilla defense. They haven't brought people very much. Don't want to give the Huskies of Washington a lot to look at. Treadway throwing to the end zone, nobody there, and the Bears will take over.
Well, he was looking for Bobby Mushagian to come out on the corner route. Mushagian just got tangled up inside with a lot of bodies. Bobby, of course, Steve Mushagian's son.
Just a freshman.
So he can really, really catch the ball just like Dad.
Yeah, his dad, pretty good receiver. And they say that Bobby catches everything. Steve Mushagian talking with the field judge very animatedly.
Looking for a holding or a pass interference or something down there.
Give DeMarcus O'Keefe, and O'Keefe gets it across the 15 to about the 17-yard line. The ball pops loose, and so does O'Keefe. Actually, it wasn't the ball that popped loose. It was the running back, O'Keefe. Great job. Steve Lynn makes the stop, 17 yards.
Yeah, a bunch of bodies wrapped in there, but O'Keefe just keeping those legs driving, keeping his balance, found a way to pop out. Sac State a little lax in the tackling late in the game here.
Now Noah Smith limps off the field.
He was all but wrapped up, but O'Keefe's shown that he's got something special in there as well.
Yeah. But we said, this guy's a quality running back. And in fact, behind him is Terrell Williams, who led the team in rushing just 4 years ago.
With Kyle Bowler, exactly. Another great tailback. The Bears were stocked at that position.
This time Levy, under pressure, has to step up and get something out of nothing. Picked up about a yard at the 30-yard line.
A lot of pressure in a hurry for a 3-step drop.
The Bears using some backups on the offensive line now, too. Scott Smith is in the ball game. Eric Robertson remains out there. It will not get easier for California. They have to go up to Washington. Now, the Huskies lost today to Air Force 20-17, but a home game. And they can be tough in Seattle. Not quite the way it used to be up there, but still can be tough. Here's Levy, airing it out again. He's got DeSean, and double coverage there as DeMonico defending, and he stepped in front. The ball hit him on the thigh.
Yeah, you talk a little bit about Washington. You know, I have no doubt, though, that Tyrone is going to turn that program around eventually.
Me too. Oh, me too. I feel very confident
He is
about that.
quality football coach. And with the resources that Washington has, he's going to do a good job up there eventually.
And he got there a little late for the recruiting season this year, too. So, you know, the thing that I hope is fans up there can be very impatient, and I hope they give him the time that it's going to take.
Yeah, the coverage is a little bit bare on the offensive side.
Very much so. Blitz comes this time. Levy throws, caught by Jackson. Nice little move by Jackson, but he made one too many. Steve Lynn makes the stop, and the Bears will have to punt it.
Young guys are always making one too many moves.
Well, that's in high school, that's a touchdown.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, he shakes 3 or 4 guys, nobody touches him, and he keeps going. You learn that everybody at this level has the same speed that you do. There's a quarterback comparison. Longshore in the game, 8 for 11, 131 yards and a touchdown. And since then, 2 for 17.
And really only one play, that 46-yard touchdown pass. And that was a thing of beauty, I will say that. So Loney to punt it away. I think special teams has really been the story for California. Major improvement, I believe. Loney has kicked it into the end zone. His punts have been effective. They've been able to get a return, and they've been able to put pressure on the punter on the other end. So I think very effective special team play. Bears lead it 34-3. 6:31 remaining in the ball. 6:31 remaining in the ball game. Barry Tompkins, Mike Pulaski alongside. And Nicole Zalumis on the field. 34-3 ball game. Bears comfortably have this one in hand, but I don't believe this is anything that Jeff Tedford is going to want to put in a time capsule.
He may want to put it there just to hide the film.
Yeah, exactly. Bury it. So Treadway will remain at quarterback for Sac State. Backup players almost exclusively now for Cal. Getting a look at a lot of young bodies. Something that Jeff Tedford would have liked to have done earlier in the game. Treadway steps up, throws incomplete. Nice defensive play that time by Forrester. Wale Forrester, backup safety.
Ma'afala getting nice pressure up the field from that linebacker position. You know, this is the time when a lot of these young guys get to make a point that, hey, look, I can play too. I'm quality depth. I'm your guy. And you never know what happens with injuries during the season. Somebody goes down. You're going to have to look back to this game and see who stepped up and who didn't.
2nd down and 10. I think one thing has been said. There is no quarterback debate in Berkeley.
Yeah, not at this point.
Draw play this time, and Daniels is stopped in the backfield, slowed in the backfield by Pimentel, and then stopped by Follett. Hey, Cache Creek presents the Best Damn Boxing Period, September 30th. Glenn Johnson and George Jones. It's on the Best Damn Sports Show. Going up there, you see John Sally, see Chris Rose, all kinds of celebrities up there. You can get tickets at cashcreek.com or any Ticketmaster outlet. Chris Cavender is the receiver to the outside now. He's normally a quarterback, but they say he's such a good athlete, they just got to put him on the field someplace. And he's worked a little bit this week at the wideout spot, and that's where he is right now. Here's a throw this time incomplete, intended for Mashagi.
Well, you just talked about him catching everything. That's a ball that he could have caught coming out.
I'm sure he's had a case of freshmanitis also.
True freshman, first game of the year.
Playing in front of 65,000 people.
Yeah.
So again,
Lively to punt out of his own end zone. He'll hit it at about the 4-yard line. And DeSean Jackson, the deep man for California. Jackson's got a little wiggle.
And good speed out there, especially for a young player.
Again, they get good pressure on Lively. Jackson's going to run up, take this right about midfield. Starts to the far side of the field. Well, he slowed down. Had he have just kept going to the far side, now he's got a little gap. And he's at the 30, the 25. One man to beat at the 5. Touchdown.
Nice
He's got a little wiggle.
Yeah, he had a nice wall set up to begin with. Like you said, he hesitated. He didn't get to it. But then once he found his way back outside that wall, there's Pete Alomar, special teams coach for the Bears.
Well, he's got reason to be proud. I mean, I think his guys have really done a tremendous job.
Done well, kicking the ball, done well in the return game.
Every aspect, I think, of the kicking game. Bears have been outstanding today. A 49-yard punt return and a 39-yard punt return. And they put pressure on the punter almost every time.
And a couple nice cleanup blocks along the way. So good job by that special teams unit, which is a point of emphasis for the team. You know, turnover, special teams, those are the things that make you good on the road.
Blocked 2 kicks,
yeah.
And I think got a hand on another one. Forced a lot of short punts. Schneider's try for point is up and good, and it is a 41-3 ball game. Well, that, I think, will give Jeff Tefford something to smile about and something to talk about in the post-game press conference, because I'm not sure how much he's going to want to talk about his quarterback situation or his offense. Bears 41, Hornets 3, 5:21 left in the game. Well, the Bears have finally clutched this one by the throat. They lead by 38 now, 41-3, and they just have kind of worn Sacramento State down. But I think you have to give a lot of credit to Steve Bushagian's team. They came in here, they played more than just somewhat competitive in the first half, and they were really in this ball game until the middle of the third quarter.
Doing a nice job, showed a lot of heart, but you know, size and depth make a huge difference late in games.
Absolutely. 5-yard line by Kugler, juggles it just a little bit, tries to kick outside, will be stopped short of the 20-yard line on another good special teams play by the Bears. Byron Storr, who has always been a good special teams player, down to make the tackle that time.
Yeah, he's the wedge buster. He's the fearless guy, you know, backup fullback. Runs down full speed. Obviously, the Bears had Mike McGrath last year, who was a special teams superhero. I mean, this guy was everywhere. But Byron Storr was a close second. And fearless out there.
So at the 19-yard line, Brad Treadway with Chris Daniels in the backfield now. This is Daniels, and Daniels tries to spin outside. Bears will not let that happen. Tackle made by Brandon Hampton. A couple of injuries, of course. The injury to Nate Longshore, we don't know the extent of it yet, and probably won't for a day or two. It is an ankle sprain, no break. I suppose that's the good news, but as you said, sometimes hard to evaluate the extent of an injury like that for a day or two.
Yeah, just with the x-ray machine, you can't tell anything about the soft tissue, so I'm certain they'll have an MRI pretty quick. And a lot of ice.
Treadway will go up, throws on a comebacker, and it's caught by Jordan Farrell. Farrell started his college career at Fresno State.
Nice pass and catch there. Right now, both sides just looking for execution. Do your job, do it right, get it done. And they're going to work through kind of developing their offense, their timing, their rhythm.
Give this time is to Cummings, and Cummings gets it up close to the 35-yard line. Pick up about 5 yards.
A little special hello there for Thomas Taku. He came up and tried to stick his nose in the pile. Cummings a pretty big back, formerly a fullback, now with the one-back system at Sac State, playing that tailback position. Laid a nice lick on Thomas Taku.
Another transfer from Fresno State. A lot of transfers, you mentioned it earlier, a lot of transfers at Sac State. 5 guys off the
St. Mary's program that was disbanded a couple of years ago. Quick hitch this time, and a nice grab made by Farrell, going out of bounds at the 41-yard line.
Little quick out. Good job stopping the clock. Get as much as you can, get out of bounds, stop the clock, and see if you can put a drive in the end zone. You'll recapture some of that momentum, the good feeling that you had going at halftime, and come away from this game feeling pretty good about your performance for Sac State.
Second down and 4. Treadway straight back this time. Now he throws a screen, one hopper, which doesn't count.
A little short.
It's Bishagian who took the one hopper and said, maybe if I pretend that it didn't bounce, they won't notice.
If it was basketball, it was the perfect bounce pass.
Perfect. Yeah.
But in this game, you got to get it there in the air.
Damn.
I knew we forgot something in the meeting room.
Yes, that's right. There's a look at Steve Bishagian. I'm sure he will be very philosophical about this game, and as he should be. Treadway hit as he throws, and really took a real shot that time from Philip Mbaku. And it'll be fourth down, and Sean Jackson will have another chance here.
We see a little roll to the left, which means defensive linemen have a little more time and a little more room to gather speed. Mbaku is a very talented player. Young, putting his game together, but he's got the skills to be a really good player.
13th punt of the ball game for Sac State. There's Treadway. Hadn't taken a lot of snaps before this year. Bears come after it again, and this time they kick it away from Jackson, and it takes a California bounce back to the 37-yard line. So no return. As we take a look at our play of the game, and the play of the game is presented by Elk Grove Acura. Get it right at Elk Grove Acura, a member of the Lasher Auto Group. And that was the 46-yard touchdown pass from Steve Levy to Noah Smith. That changed the game, I think.
Third quarterback for Cal in there. And you have to throw a completion, and if you're going to throw one, that's the one.
Well, completions have been few and far between since Nate Longshore went down in the middle of the second quarter. Pitch this time to O'Keefe, and he's got all kinds of room. O'Keefe splits him midfield. It's a foot race, 40, 30 to the 20, and out of bounds at about the 14-yard line.
And I like that play, just a little jab dive play with the pitch outside. Brian Parker and Richard Moore making the tackle in the end, but you see the jab dive and the pitch to the outside. It gets flow of that defense to really gather in the middle of the line and let your athletes, your tailbacks, use their speed on the outside. And O'Keefe doing a nice job getting around the corner, getting downfield.
52 yards on the run by Marcus O'Keefe. And Terrell Williams in the ballgame, a tailback for the first time. And Sac State will take a timeout. Its second timeout of the game with 3 minutes remaining to be played. And I'll tell you what, the Bears don't drop off a lot with this guy at tailback either.
They don't. Terrell Williams is fantastic as a true freshman. Was outstanding quite a few years ago, but you know, he's been a guy that's been nicked. He's had some great talent come in here, you know, to play the position. But he's another guy that's a real team guy, a real team player, great locker room guy. Just a neat player to be around, and if it weren't for the great talent ahead of him, he'd be getting a lot more snaps too at a lot of programs.
I think that's absolutely right. You know, in 3 weeks, the Aggies of UC Davis will play the Hornets, go to the Hornets' Nest to take on Sac State. It's the 52nd annual Causeway Classic. UC Davis, Sacramento State. You're not going to want to miss this classic football rivalry. Takes place Saturday, September 24th. We'll kick it off at 2 right here on Comcast Sportsnet. That really is a fun game. Two really well-coached teams, I'll tell you. UC Davis going back to Jimmy Soker being the coach there, now Bob Biggs. Well-coached football team.
And a lot of emotion based on proximity. You know, bragging rights for the area.
give this to Terrell Williams, and Williams busted across the 10-yard line down to about the 8.
Another nice stutter move, make the first guy miss. You know, there really shouldn't have been anything on that. Cyrus Mulatalo in the backfield ended up making the tackle, but you make that first guy miss and gain yards where you should have actually lost 3 yards.
So Levy leads his team to the line of scrimmage at the 8-yard line. And a little bit of a draw play this time for Williams down to the 5. Tony DeMonico makes the tackle. 2 minutes, 15 seconds remaining to be played. Bears are not in any hurry here.
No, and I think they'd be perfectly happy to take as much time off the clock as possible before punching this one in.
It'll be 3rd down and a long 3. They give it to Williams again, and Williams will be close to the first down, but I think short. And I have to think the Bears will just go here. I don't believe they'll kick a field goal. And they will. It's going to be about a yard short of the first down, 3 yards short of a touchdown.
Bringing Eric Began into the game, an extra tight end. Get that big muscle group in there, all the heavy bodies.
So this drive has been all Terrell Williams. The exception of the 52-yard run by Marcus O'Keefe. Oh, by the way. 4th down. Give it to Williams, nothing doing. Now he pops a tackle, but he's going to be stopped short at the 6-yard line, and the Hornets get another one of those little moral victories.
Yeah, Tony DeMonico, nobody touched him, got in the backfield and made that initial pop that stopped Terrell Williams. And there really wasn't really much that Terrell could do there. See DeMonico untouched. Terrell just kept fighting for as much as he could get, but too many white shirts in the backfield. I'd be willing to bet that somebody missed a block.
I'd say that's probably a good guess. Educated guess, I know that. And you'd be looking for him, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Used to be great when the lineman would go, oh, sorry, I missed him. Really?
Yeah, I didn't notice it. Give this to Cummings, and Cummings is stopped. And Bears defense doing a lot of good things.
For a fairly bland package, as we discussed.
Yes, yes. Yeah,
a lot of young players. Remember, they had to replace 9 starters this year, so very bland package, and they're trying to learn on the run with that group. Physically gifted, but they're going to have to grow into being able to run their full scheme. You know, game 4, game 5, game 7, they'll really have it all down and be moving full speed.
Well, and this must be said, too, about California. They do get a schedule break.
Yes.
I mean, and, you know, you don't like to look ahead, and obviously the coaching staff doesn't do that, but I guess it's okay if you and I do. And they have 4 winnable games where, in my opinion, they don't have to be 100% to win those games.
No, that's right. They have to be good.
Yes.
They got a couple Pac-10 opponents, but they have to be good, but they don't have to be
Prior
perfect.
snap, dead ball foul, false start offense, number 81. After this is the goal, remains 2nd down.
23 ticks remaining in this one. And the Bears will be 1 up and none down. But it's going to be a hard week of work, I think, here in Berkeley.
It's going to be very quiet practice time. You know, usually after a win, you get guys joking around, having a good time, a little more energy in practice. There'll be energy, but it will be quiet.
Bears win the second half, 31-0, and I suppose when you put 31 on the board, you got to look at it and say, well, you did something right as the clock runs down and the game is now in the books. But they got a lot of breaks, they got a lot of turnovers, they got a couple of good long punt returns, and had field position all day long. And I'm sure that, you know, had everything been clicking the way a Jeff Tedford offense usually does, this could have been flat ugly.
Yeah, it could have been very ugly. You know, I think obviously leaves a couple question marks for the Bears. Who's the number 2 quarterback right now?
Or maybe the number 1 quarterback next week.
That's exactly right with Longshore.
All right, we'll jump away, but we'll come back. 41-3, the final score here at Memorial Stadium. California wins it over Sac State. We're coming back.
Hey, it's Marshawn Lynch and David Loney. Go Bears.
You gonna smash those guys today?
Mate, it's Wednesday morning.
So, what's your point? It's Wednesday?
We're really early.